You work so hard. You show up every day. You do what's expected of you. But deep down, you know the truth. One paycheck shouldn't decide how your life turns out. But what if your evenings meant progress? What if your weekends built freedom? What if your laptop became more than just a screen? This isn't about quitting your job. It's about giving yourself options. While others scroll, you start building. Quietly, consistently, and on your own terms. No pressure, no guessing. Just a clear system you can run after work, before work, or whenever life gives you a turn. That's what Goldmine on hustlesafrica.com is for.
Tuesday.
Haikuzo makasi ni watafute uongozi pamoja wasitafute.
Kweli una maana gani? Una maana wewe ni binadamu ya mavi ya kuku.
Mashamba yetu harambe.
Nguruwe kujikanga na mafuta yake, na Afrika itakwisha.
Padani agosho ngai no mwega naende shode.
Wakati hiyo ilikuwa ukisema ngwe ndani ngwe.
The 7th of July, otherwise known here in Kenya as Sabasaba Day. So, why is it called Sabasaba Day? It marks the commemoration of a major pro-democracy demonstration that happened on the 7th of July 1990, where Kenyans marched to the streets demanding for constitutional change to repeal Section 2A of the old constitution, which would allow for multi-party democracy. It was also a reaction out of the desperation of Kenyans who had for long lived under the dictatorship of then President Daniel Arap Moi and a one-party state rule under KANU. Young politicians who were known as the Young Turks, with the support of more experienced politicians, called for a massive rally that was supposed to be held at the Kamukunji grounds on the 7th of July 1990. But on the days leading up to 7th July, the government of President Moi was not comfortable. Odinga and Kenneth Matiba were arrested and detained days before Sabasaba. But that did not stop the rally from happening. There was enough anger and frustration among Kenyans to push them to come out and protest against the oppressive regime. So on the 7th of July, they came out. Kenyans took to the streets to push for constitutional reforms, and they were met by armed police who tear-gassed and clobbered them, leaving hundreds. Sabasaba in 1990, it left 21 dead and thousands injured. As generations pass, the memories of Sabasaba become less amplified. But in the history books, the impact of the events of the 7th of July 1990 will always be a major turning point in the history of Kenya's democracy.
Right. Hello there, people of the internet. My name is Luhya'S and this is Political Headache coming to you at 7:30 from the City of Glasses, Nairobi. City is now on lockdown. We were in the areas of Westlands, where I was celebrating my birthday today. I am a year older, and I'm feeling very good about it.
Happy birthday, man.
Thank you very much. I was with Mr. Mundalo, and I was with Yambu Tieno went on Facebook and said that I'm 50 years old, which is a complete lie. I wish I was. Still have my limbs, my brother. So, people of the internet, I hope that you are enjoying. Today looks like a weekend, and I am hoping that everyone is safe. The government locked down the entire city for us.
Yes.
And so it appeared like a holiday. Kingara Road was completely without anybody today. Very clean. It's not good for the economy, I believe. But I don't know why Mundalo's government and Odhiambo's government are too paranoid. I think it is a shame that, let people go to the streets. The policemen coming out and making a press conference and saying that people coming out today is illegal. is a bit over the top, and I'm once wondering, Mundalo is disagreeing, but he saw the news, so I'm wondering, Mr. Mundalo, how are you doing, my brother? How are you doing?
I'm very fine, very, very fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Are you going to say something about your government?
The government of the Republic of Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah, the government of the Republic of Kenya is okay. And of course, I agree that there has been a bit of lockdown coming from where I was to Westlands in the morning.
You told me were there 7 roadblocks?
Yeah, there were several roadblocks there, which, of course, one, I agree that government must prepare for any eventualities because with the nature of our protests today, you don't know which direction they actually go. But again, government must also be able to, in doing that, you must be able to allow people to function normally.
Okay.
And I think that is the part that I liked because I saw the roadblocks, but I was able to get where I got to, and I've been able to do all my business of the day.
Okay.
And so I think it's good to take precaution, but also allow people to function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the idea around the roadblocks? What was going on? What were you guys? Why did you guys erect roadblocks?
Why did government erect roadblocks? Now you're confusing me by asking me questions as though I am your CS interior.
CS interior?
Yeah.
But that's the person I should be asking.
That's the question person should be asking.
Yeah.
But because I also live in this country, I have a right to my opinion about it.
Okay.
And I'm not naive to the reality that we have previously had demonstrations and they have gone haywire. We have had demonstrations and we have had people losing their lives. We have had demonstrations and we have had shops looted. We have had demonstrations and people's businesses have been greatly affected in the name of demonstrations.
Yeah.
Why? Because we have criminal elements that sometimes want to take advantage of those demonstrations. And that's why government must take care of both the interests of the demonstrators, the interests of those ones who want to go to the streets, and the interests of those ones who want to continue with the normal functioning and their business of the day.
But the question that somebody will be asking you is, what is the real danger of people coming out today to do what? What was going on today?
I have just spoken to it, Jagero, and said that we have had cases before where people have gone to the streets to demonstrate. Like today, it's a commemoration per se. But then we have people who want to take advantage of such instances to loot shops. We have had shops looted. We have had we have had a goon culture that has just been here at your studios. You've had such things before. So we have criminal elements that sometimes take advantage of protests and demonstrations, and they want to take advantage of peaceful marches of honest Kenyans who are communicating their agenda. And so on the basis of what has happened in the past, where we have had people die, I think it is the right thing for government to take precaution and ensure that everyone is safe, even as we commemorate, so that even we have time to sit on political headache and help the younger ones also understand what Sabasaba actually means. Because I also understand that we have people who are hearing Sabasaba from morning to evening, and they are saying there is Sabasaba. But how many of us really know what is Sabasaba and what is the significance? And I think that's why political headache exists.
Yeah, thank you very much. Mr. Jeff, thank you very much for joining me this evening. There is a coup in Olkalau. I hear from Wamunyoro that there is a coup in Olkalau, but that is not what I want to start with. I mean, Nairobi is a big city. People are working all over the place, but Mundalo's government is blocking the streets.
I will not argue today. I've allowed you have your peace. It's your birthday. We have to allow you some things.
I'm just wondering, I mean, do you think that the heavy-handedness is really what should have happened today?
Allow me first, Jagero, to thank you and your viewers again for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here and discuss what is considered political headaches, like the one we are talking about today. You see, the government rests at a place where they cannot make up their minds on what it is or what perspective they want to take when it comes to protests. They will come out and say that the Constitution guarantees the right to protest, but then say that those protests should not again interfere with the livelihoods of people, which again is a fair thing to say. However, when the government themselves become the biggest impediment to normalcy, then it speaks to the double speaker I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because today the government will say that it is going to be a normal working day. People should just move about their business as they normally would, and then go ahead and blockade the roads that people cannot transit into town to do their own business. In fact, you saw in some areas of the common Kenyans where they line up to access public transport, they were standing there for over 2 hours because there was no way to get into town. Now the road operators, the matatu operators, are not getting into town because they're telling them there's a roadblock at a certain place and another roadblock right up ahead. So then you get to wonder. It speaks to how the sacredness of this day, because the heavy-handedness you see today with government is as a result of people having political freedom to express themselves. And it's a precursor to something that I would consider danger ahead. Because now we are seeing that the government, whenever the government uses the excuse of we don't want infiltration, it's always the convenient thing for them to say. There is always some infiltration. Yet when you look at the culture of infiltration by goons, it is government operators who send a lot of these goons into these protests in order to delegitimize them.
Yeah.
So they create a problem, exacerbate the problem, and then use that excuse to try and divert attention. So that is where we are at with what we saw today.
Okay. Odhiambo, your grandfather Raila Odinga has always been in the streets and nobody has really messed with him. And, you know, all over, for the last 20 years I've seen Raila on the streets. And I think Sabasaba has always been a very good time to celebrate, you know. But these days, the government that you support is a bit queasy about people coming out in the streets. I mean, tankers in the streets at every section of the country, of town, Nairobi. And I'm wondering, do you think that this is a bit too much? You're gonna talk with them to, you know,
I think you're misusing English for journalists.
Okay.
By exaggerating the extent of the government protecting the people. Remember, Raila, in all his life, he was deformed heavily by government beatings, government incarceration. Raila's left eye was teary throughout because of extreme torture by a fellow Luo who was at Nyayo House. Raila was even rumored, because we don't just want to talk about it publicly, but it's well known that torture is not prayer. He was touched in places which are unmentionable. And we saw in his last days, especially when he was walking with President Ruto in Homa Bay, at the pyre, Raila's limp was evident. And that limp was not because of any other thing. It was a cause of being beaten in the streets. Raila, being a wonderful man, rich man, wealthy, a man who was established properly, decided to fight for the people. And so you saying that the government spared him is false. He was tortured immensely. And so when we come to today, of course, demonstration, picketing is a right in the Constitution. A peaceable demonstration is a right in the Constitution. There are cases where we've had government excesses, which of course must be called out. As I've said before, I'm not an apologetic supporter of the regime. I am a reasonable supporter. I'll support where I think it is proper. Where there's been excesses, like today, where people are being beaten in the street, they're not fighting anybody. They're just, like the one who was standing behind Orengo. Why was everyone being beaten in that manner? Those women who are just standing all over the street there, why were they being harassed in that fashion? The principal purpose of the police, I believe, is to protect these people, not to be beaten by goons. Because now they're behaving like goons. And this goon thing is becoming a bad issue. So, of course, it is the principle of the government, the responsibility to ensure that lives are protected and property is not lost and business continues. Like yesterday, they said we are going to do checkings. We're going to, how do you call it? We're going to monitor cars as they get screen cars as they get into town.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just to see who has carried what.
How many? Do you know how many cars get into Nairobi City?
So many.
How can you screen them?
There could be upwards of hundreds of thousands. But we have the capacity as a country to screen them.
Alai disagrees, says that, you know, this country does not have enough policemen.
It does not.
We do.
He has said it several times.
We don't have enough policemen to go against a demonstration that is very popular. That's how regimes are toppled. There's no day that we'll ever have 1-to-1 ratio of police to the citizenry.
I don't think we're talking about 1-to-1.
Okay, if you're talking about enough is 1 to 1, that one police deals with you.
That Kileleshwa, I don't know the population of Kileleshwa, but I imagine it is big, you know. But I hear there is only 50 policemen that are in charge of Kileleshwa, and there is no car.
No, they have cars.
How can you?
I was at Kileleshwa police station the other week, and they have actually 3 vehicles. I asked the fellow who I met there, the policeman there. I asked him, and even there's a girl there who is, I think, either deputy CS or something. I asked her. She told me they have 3 cars.
Why were you asking her?
I'm interested. I'm a citizen of this country, and I like to see what government is doing. In fact, Kileleshwa police station is
for today's
one where I live. One where I live is under the care of Kileleshwa police station. So I have to know, as a community member, what happens in Kileleshwa police station.
Okay.
So what I was saying is this, not to deviate, is that screening is okay. For example, say we're going to screen cars coming to town. Not screening to get people out, but screening to ensure that the people coming in are not carrying weapons, like rungus, you know.
So
like
how does the screening work? Every car stops and they look inside.
During the COVID-19 thing, I used to drive from Kisumu. I used to have a letter that allowed me to move.
Yeah.
And I remember at Larry, there used to be a stop. And when you reach Larry, they would come and unafungua dirisha. Now unafungua boot na wanaangalia. They check your documentation, then you proceed. So it is doable.
That is different of the ambo.
That's the screening.
No, that's. Can you really screen people getting into?
But they used to screen people at Larry. People.
But you know Larry today, what happened to those who were on the roads?
Because most people had stayed at home.
Yeah, and
no, but those of us here came. So can we talk about what happened to us?
Yes, people were screened.
But first of all, you scared people and you said that it's illegal.
Who is you?
The government.
Your government.
No, it's not the government.
It's not the government. Because
the government,
sometimes we seek to complicate these matters. So much
simple issues.
Okay.
All of us are here and we don't live here. And we will leave this podcast and go home. So we can talk about the reality that is happening in the country without sensationalizing.
No.
When you look at
no, I think you are getting me wrong, because today, we could say that less than a quarter of people that live in this city actually travel to the city, correct?
And those who travel,
and that is why it was easier to screen them. But yesterday the government said that it's illegal to come out.
But what is wrong with the government saying it is illegal? The demonstrations, they didn't say it is illegal to come out. Freedom of movement, you can't limit people from coming out. They can only give a precaution.
Because we are all here and not arrested.
Yeah, because we were with you in town. Why were we not arrested?
Even in the case of demonstration, what makes them illegal? What gives the police the mandate to say that something is illegal? Is it notification?
It is, well, I agree with you. There's some police overreach that I've said. That, for example, I don't believe the police has the power to say there's an illegal assembly.
Absolutely not.
But if they are saying there's an illegal assembly, perhaps they're looking at it from the premise that there's no proper notification as should be.
What is the threshold for notification?
Is providing a letter and providing assurance that you have your people who will be helping you to chaperone your teams into town out.
Which is very interesting.
Which is fine.
Now that
like South Africa is
getting angry about it, let me ask let me ask a question.
How has
I want to ask you guys a question, because I think you know this better than I do.
Yeah.
For example, Mundalo.
Yes.
If for example, the people that were celebrating Arsenal in town, did they ask for
Absolutely
permission?
not. And that's why there's a lot of double standards when it comes.
So the question is, who was supposed to be asking police for permission today?
When it's a commemoration, like any other demonstration, when it's happening,
the
law provides.
And let me tell you the double standard. Allow me to interrupt you, Mundalo, because this is something that government likes to be wishy-washy about.
Yes.
When there is another social issue that happens on the streets of Kenya, the government does not require prior notification.
Yes.
They do not declare those things illegal assemblies.
Like which one?
Like, for example, what he's mentioned, the Arsenal celebration. Also, Catholics were on the street in their hundreds, I would say thousands.
It's a procession, it's not a demonstration.
It doesn't matter, but there was a gathering. You see, they call those things illegal gatherings.
Yes.
So now, when you see Catholics come, and some people who can identify as atheists might say that is a nuisance to me because I don't subscribe to your Christianity. If I go there and I start singing and I start occupying the whole of Odeon that I cannot operate normally there, the police never interfere with that one. But whenever there is a situation like today's where there is, for example, an anticipated protest, right? Or an anticipated commemoration, let's not even call it a protest. They always lean on the illegality factor.
Yeah.
Now the question rests, Sabasaba is a nationally acclaimed day for us. It is significant for the Kenyan people.
Yeah.
Who is supposed to take responsibility of people wanting to come out to commemorate a day that built our democracy as we know it today? Who is supposed to take that notification? And that's the question I never understand. Whose responsibility is it?
So can we answer?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
we are here.
You are asking, then you don't want answers.
Yeah.
No, we are waiting for answers, Mr.
I'll accept to get the answers because our law provides that when we are doing demonstrations or any commemoration of that nature, then we must be able to notify, not seek permission, but notify the authorities at least 3 days in advance. That is our law. Before the demise of Raila Odinga, that was always for the Sabasaba, it was always done by ODM. It was always done under Raila Odinga. And I think, and this is me imagining because I don't sit anywhere in the security sector, but I agree with Odhiambo that it would be deemed illegal if there is no notice because Sabasaba is not a gazetted public holiday.
Okay.
In the event it's a gazetted public holiday like Jamhuri Day, then no one needs to give any notice because we have already given ourselves the notice by making it a public holiday.
Okay.
But in the event that you're having something like Sabasaba, this is something that we are sensational about, and sometimes we think that when we are sensational about something, it becomes legal. Sensationalization does not legalize anything. It is the same thing that we are talking about the Gen Z protest of 2024. We have had it 3 times. Is it 3 or 2 times now? It does not mean just because we've been having it now, it's legal. The only way to have it is that someone must notify.
Okay.
The way we had the Gen Z commemoration last time, Martha Karua and the protest victims and a few other people came together and provided that notice. And on the basis of that, that was a legal demonstration. But when you talk about Sabasaba, and the questions that Wesley asks, Wesley wants people to be in the street, but he does not want notification to be given. Why? Because it should be legal because you think it's legal. Legality is not in the basis of thought. It's not on the basis of imagination. It's on the basis of sticking to the dictates of law and what the law provides. And what does it provide, Jagero, as it stands today? It says provide notice. Once you provide notice, now you move forward.
But the people of Arsenal did not provide notice. And
go ahead and do it. And now let me make that comparison. For instance, we had your birthday in the morning. Did we provide notice?
No, but we were not on a time square.
Because you see, those are now engagements of the public.
Okay.
But when you want to call it a public, you want to call the entire public to a gathering of some sort, then definitely you'll have to provide notice. But when we choose to get out of where we are here and jump on the street and say we are happy that some team has scored a goal, we really don't need notice. Sometimes we want to push the country into a lot of complications so that we run away from reality that there are some wins. And what I think about today is that I honestly think that by fact that the day was able to go smoothly, and again, like on the day of the Gen Zs, we are not recording any deaths, we are not recording such kind of things. I think, in my view, it's a step in the right direction, but I have leg room to allow someone else to think otherwise.
Yeah, where I'm stuck is who should have given this notice today?
The organizers,
the organizers.
Of that procession.
The organizers.
So it's a requirement.
Jagero, were you part of the procession? No, you were part of a birthday.
Yeah.
So that you didn't want to be part of it. Whoever wanted to be part of it should have given notice.
The organizers ought to give a notice. Remember the first Gen Z protest, the very first one, which didn't turn violent at all, where they were not going to parliament. It was very peaceful. It was in the streets. Actually, I think 2 of them were very peaceful, that there was no attack of whatsoever nature until the police started rioting against the people, which I agree, they started rioting against the people somehow. Those people were just peaceful. Mobile phone and flags. I think that was largely peaceful.
You are confident that if we were at full capacity today, the screening would have happened and everything would have been smooth. That's what you're saying.
I think you are leaning on nonsense, really, because you're trying to look into the pot. There's nothing. Let me tell you that. There's nothing in the pot. So move on. A lot of nonsense.
Do you think
let me intervene for a second. Right?
They keep
see,
saying there is nothing and there is a lot of something.
There's nothing in the pot.
Yeah.
You just wash your hands and move on to other things.
Okay, let
Nobody was murdered. Nobody, except the guys who were beaten, which have said it was wrong. There's nothing else.
No, allow me to intervene on this. And you see, while I do agree, I cannot run away. I am a lawyer. I cannot run away from the dictates of the law.
Yeah.
However, what Mundalo has described and what Otieno is calling leaning on nonsense still does not answer a fundamental question. You see, whenever you're arguing on a scope of a matter, there are things you call issues for determination. The issue for determination for them is what the law dictates. They've stated it correctly. There ought to be notification. Our issue on this end is when it is a matter of state or national interest, who bears the responsibility to do it? And you've said Raila Odinga. On another case, you've mentioned Martha Karua. Those are politicians. Sabasaba is not necessarily about politicians. Sabasaba is about the right to democratically exist within political parties. True or not true?
Yeah.
So in that case, if myself, as an individual member of this state and a contributor to this state, I want to just proceed on my own, I am not part of any protest or any procession. I just want to go to the street and enjoy the fact that democracy has reached to a point where I can exist in any political party. Who is supposed, if there are four of us, if there is me, there is Mundalo, there is Jagero, and we all independently, not organized, decides to come out to Nairobi to celebrate this or proceed towards the same cause. Who then issues the notification? That's the question that the government will never answer. Because
no, I have the answer.
Let me tell you why Mundalo.
Government might not answer, but I have the answer.
Okay, fine. I'll let you respond. And while you do, please consider this point that I want to raise. Right? Matters of national interest are priority to different people at different degrees. All right. So at the point where I feel like the issue pricks me so much, I feel like I want to proceed to the street, and someone somewhere in Kisumu decides to do the same. Who issues that notice, and what dictates, what threshold do you need for you to proceed on your own conviction as opposed to what is considered a protest or a procession? Who then bears that responsibility? So that it answers the question of that person you're saying was being beaten. Because if I come out with a flag and I start walking, still those police officers there are still after me. And I am a one-person movement with no threat to anybody else. So then, who bears that responsibility, Mundalo?
So can I answer him? You want to go first?
Sure, I can. There is something that you lawyers call the spirit of the law. And before we even ask many questions, Jagero, we must be able to ask ourselves, why does the law say you don't need permission, but at least you need to notify? Because the law had, there was a loophole that they could just say, you don't need permission and therefore you don't need to notify. The mere fact that the law says you need to notify is on the basis of protecting both you, the demonstrator, and the other people. So that must be a country that has some order, Jagero. We can't wake up and all of us are demonstrators on one day. Because the Jagero wants to demonstrate about something else, the other one wants to demonstrate about something else, it becomes a banana republic. We have to have some order in the way we do our things. That's why it's important that you notify, so that we know that Moi Avenue today.
What is so they don't need to give you a yes or a no when you notify, because when Mombasa, I think it was denied the ability to go and have a conversation in Mombasa by the OCS in Mombasa, but he went there to notify, but he was saying no, you cannot have it. So
I'm not aware of that, Jagero, so I would have very little comment on it, because I don't know whether he was asking to an opportunity to demonstrate or protest.
You don't know that police always deny people the fact they tell you no when you notify them.
I wish you allowed me answer the same way I allow you ask. Good. Now, when you go to and I'm telling you about the law, that the law says notify. Notify means you are not necessarily going to be told no. It is that they should be aware. But why should they be aware? Why is it in the law that they should be aware? So that they can also be able to guide the rest of society and tell Jagero that as you come to political headache tonight, look at it, Moi Avenue might not be the best place because we're having a demonstration going on. It's on the basis of just ensuring that there is order. Number two, on the question of who bears the responsibility, it's the organizers who bear the responsibility. That's why even in the most organic demonstration that we have always celebrated, the Gen Z protests of June 2024. there was a notification, and that's why they were not illegal protests. Now, whoever did it is a question of is neither here nor there, because when the ODM felt that it's their responsibility, and you can't say that Sabasaba was not about politicians and that's why politicians didn't come out. No, even Gen Z protests were not about politicians, but someone had to do it. The burden of responsibility. Honestly, Jagero, you cannot be people who want to execute something, but that's the responsibility of notification. You want to complicate the matter. Anyone can do it. Wesley could do it. DCP could do it. Any other person would have been doing it. Just because we do not have Raila today does not mean now if suddenly we have no one to actually do it. The burden of responsibility is in the ones who are passionate enough to want to go ahead and do this. Otherwise, we cannot say that let anyone wake up from wherever and do whatever they want to do. Okay. If we do that, what if people choose to just celebrate outside these gates here, so all of us cannot even get inside here because they didn't need to notify anybody? That way we become a banana republic. So sometimes we must be able to also accept to live by the dictates of law and be an orderly country. Yeah.
Let me
lawlessness does
allow
not
me
mean
democracy. To sort of have a rejoinder to that. You see,
Otiamo also wanted to say something, but
just allow me to sort of like go on what he has spoken about, and I agree. It's about maintaining public order by and large. However, when courts have ruled on this matter, courts are the arbiters of what the law is, right? They decide what is practical and what is not. And courts have consistently recognized that not all protests can have that formality followed, right? They understand that sometimes protests may occur spontaneously as a result of maybe complications, legislative proposals that, for example, like the finance bill. And in situations like that, the court has always maintained that that 3-day notification caveat is not practically possible in all times. And in that situation, the court has pronounced itself clearly that the primary role of the police is to protect the protesters, not to disperse them. So now it brings me back to the question that I have asked, and I agree. Wesley could issue that notification. But what if I am not interested in going to the streets because I believe in some movement? I am just happy of my democratic rights.
Someone else will.
That's what I'm asking. What if even that person has no interest in
Someone
it?
Else
because whoever else Mundalo has talked about as the people who take charge of giving that notification are people who have their interest in one way or the other. So, for example, ODM had their interest in Sabasaba because they wanted their people to come out. Because, again, for the longest time, ODM has been the party of democracy, right? When it comes to Gen Z protests, there was a lot of participation from the activist arena, all right? So those people legitimize technically, as per our law dictates, the protest to be legal. However, again, the question still rests. In a situation where I have come out, I have not issued a notification, I have come out alone with a flag on my back. I have not issued a notification. I am not a threat to anyone, I'm just marching with my constitution, right? Still, if I walk into town and meet that big lorry for AP, they will still throw me in that lorry because I am apparently a threat to something. And that's the question that Mundalo never answered. Let me tell you, it's very expedient to talk about it when you enjoy.
The answer again.
It's not about it, it's because even in your answer, it still does not answer that fundamental question.
Okay, so let me answer you, if you allow me.
Please.
You see, you are not an end to yourself, and you must understand that you are part of the country. True. It's the responsibility of the government to even save you from yourself. Because when you are walking alone, demonstrating alone, you are exposed. Because there are people who may want to beat you thoroughly in that exposure. And sometimes
the police.
And sometimes no.
People want to beat me.
I'm still not talking about the police. I'm just talking about general citizens who may be occupying the position opposite. They may want to harm you. And so the police will have to save you. Sometimes they save you strategically.
By throwing it.
Like
who's what is very interesting.
Yeah, because
it's the former ODM people coming and
I was about to say it's very expedient. Jagero, it's very expedient for you to be comfortable when you are a moderate government supporter and a reasonable government supporter. Until the day the government in power is not your friend, and then you start asking
what you are being told all the time. Kunajua kitambo. That this
let me finish answering him.
I understand.
Let me finish answering him.
It is the sickness
that the people may want to harm you. and you see, you're a brilliant advocate, and we don't want to lose you. So the state decides, so that it does not look like, and they want to help you achieve your mission, because also if you just demonstrate without razzmatazz, where it is covered a little bit by the TV, you're not achieving much, because you're not demonstrating for
This is such a joke.
I should move on for sure. When Odhiambo comes back and decides to support the government, it's very, very interesting in that manner. But let's turn to what is going on in Al Kalau.
Yes.
Because we've been told that there is a coup going on there by, again, Odhiambo and Mundalo's government. So the oppositions have got a litany of complaints that they are throwing towards the government. They're saying that cabinet ministers, cabinet secretaries have turned into official programs for UDA campaign platforms. Okay, so the cabinet secretary is Mr. Gatanga MP Edward Muruyu says the cabinet secretaries have now become shameless. They are putting their faces, those PSS, and that of the candidate on government programs. They're issuing title deeds and building markets using public resources to galvanize support for UDA candidate. If that is not malpractice, what is it? Okay, then they have also written a formal letter to the IEBC to summon 4 CSs. Opposition allied lawyer Ndegwa Njiru asked the IEBC to summon cabinet secretaries Alice Wahome Lands, William Kabugo ICT, Rebecca Miano, Tourism, and Davis Chirchir Roads, plus Lands PS Nixon Korir over alleged misuse of public resources during the campaigns. The trigger included CS Miano's open endorsement of Mr. Mushina. All right, and then there is also the bankrolling via the supplementary budget. Gachagua is linking the campaign to the 2025-2026 supplementary budget, alleging extra allocations to State House, the Office of the DP, the State Department for Internal Security, and NIS would fund political activities. Those money to be drawn in cash through votes disguised as maintenance and operations. That is Mr. Gachagua saying. And then there is security intimidation. There are killer squads called Nairobi Sierra Killer Squad, have been deployed in their numbers in Al Kalau. There is cash for IDs, disenfranchisement scheme. On July the 7th, Gachagua-led residents were being asked to surrender their national ID cards in exchange for subsidized LPG cylinders and GOK-branded mattresses. Gachagua says that while we do not have mattresses at Kenyatta Hospital, the government is giving some to the people that don't need them. All right? Then there is voter importation. Okay. So this is what is happening. Mr. Wesley, first of all, your principal has taken off and is no longer involved in the elections. I don't know whether he's he's trying to get an excuse saying, I was not there when all this was happening and that is why we have lost. So what is really, really going on there? I also spoke with Mr. Fanya Mambo earlier on, and he gave me a little bit of what is going on there. I believe that he was doing this after measuring the road that the government was doing along Ngong Road, where he found
it was short.
As a matter of fact, that is not 800 meters, as the Biabo's government is saying, but about 550 meters. Why are you guys so afraid of the government? I mean, that is your constituency. Why are you afraid of the government? I mean, they can take gas. No?
I mean, you see, you interpreting fear is a matter of subjective interpretation, because I don't think DCP is afraid of the government.
Okay.
But in any contest, again, the process is very important. What we are constantly seeing is us calling out on things that we're seeing the government do that can constitute to abuse of the process. And it was on this show, Jagero, about 2 weeks ago, I remember I told you that the government were giving out mattresses. They were giving out mattresses that were branded GOK. And I remember telling you, the voters from that area, when you talk to them, they're telling us, these mattresses, we'd rather not even take them to our houses. We will let our cattle sleep on them. Because this is a mattress for somebody who might be in hospital, in need of it, and it is being given to me. But that notwithstanding, what we are looking at now, what people like Jagero will interpret as fear, is a simple pointing out of facts. In fact, right now, Somebody today, I was having a conversation with them and they were asking me, Wesley, do you still desire to become a legislator one day?
Okay.
And I told them yes. And they told me, why would you want to do that when right now to the voter, you're more useful to them dead than alive?
Okay.
Because now people are asking, should we wait for our MPs to die so that we see things we've never seen? Because let me tell you, Olkalau is a classic example of things that have never been there being brought to them just so that they can vote for the UDA candidate. And let me give you an example. They brought a train that was in existence since 1980.
A train?
A train. They revived Gari La Moshi, where they revived it so that they could try and woo them. Just today, they've brought 2 boats.
Boats?
Boats, yes. For use in some dam in Olkalau, for them to be wooed again into voting. Just yesterday.
What are the boats for?
The boats are apparently for patrol within that dam.
Patrolling what?
Patrol for in case there is anybody who is swimming there and might drown. There is a boat there.
Yeah, the government is saving them from themselves.
Again, just yesterday, they brought subsidized gas cylinders.
Subsidized
gas
so
cylinders.
Free. The entire cylinder
they
was
were not free. How can it be free?
They gave them how much?
So they were saying, as opposed to getting it for 5,500, we will give it to you at a subsidized rate of 1,500.
1,500.
But now the people are complaining.
And gas inside it.
Yes. So people are complaining that the notifications they're getting from people within government is that you should come with your ID.
Okay.
So that you can be given that thing. And then the question they're asking us, okay, so you are telling us that you want to give us this gas cylinder so that you can take us away from firewood.
All right.
You know I am a resident of Olkalau. You see me coming from there. What do you need my ID for? So let me tell you, it is very expensive.
What is this guy saying?
Let me tell you, it is very expensive.
I think he's correct.
Let me tell you. You see, the thing that the consistent pattern has been.
Allow me to interject. Allow me to interject. Jagiru, yesterday you allowed somebody to interject. Allow me to interject, Jagiru. No.
Let me finish.
He's finishing. Let me ask you. I can't interject, but you said you allowed somebody to interject me. 1 minute.
I will give you the right of interjection.
I mean, Jagiru. Okay. We cannot do this to our audience.
What can we not do?
What is so?
Look,
so strange about
the government said one.
Okay.
You know, if you cook using firewood, you will suffer respiratory illnesses.
Oh my God.
Okay, it is known. No. It is known. That is medical. The doctors watching know what I'm talking about. I just did a medical camp with Emma on the same issue.
That is why you're interjecting.
My advocate, very good advocate, I cannot hoodwink the whole audience by saying that government saying that letter ID to kupatie. I mean, it's common sense that the government would want to account for every cylinder given. So they ask you, come with the ID so that we note that this was given to person X.
Let me tell you why that
common sense. I'm finishing.
Very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. I mean, common sense, Jagiru, will let you understand that even if you're to buy IDs, how many IDs will you need to buy to tilt an election? Just common sense.
I wouldn't know.
And what are IDs used for anyway? If the government takes it, where are they taking it to?
Let me tell you.
Okay. So now
Odhiambo has a very good technical argument, but it falls flat on its face when you come to political reality. You see, this same government has always had ways to distribute things when they need to distribute to any locality. For example, right now they are very heavy on using the Nyumba Kumi leaders, and they are using the chiefs. These chiefs know people by name. A chief can be told, I want you to give me 150 people who will reside here, and the chief will do that without asking for their ID. So how is it that in this by-election you need my ID? Even just for purposes of just discussion.
Just accountability.
Accountability when you have a chief.
Okay, is there one person whose ID has been taken away that you know?
The question is, Mr. Wesley, did they show up with the ID?
Some did.
And were they confiscated?
Exactly.
No, absolutely. When they get there, when they get there and they realize that
I thought I was a propagandist. mine is child's play.
Let me tell you. When they get the people of Olkalau are fortunately very wise. Because this has been used before. It's not the first time the government has tried to hand out things to them, because they're asking, what's the difference between this gas? And when you sit us down and after the meeting you give us money. Why are you not asking for my ID then? Why is it that anytime there is something physical you want to give me, this is when the ID is supposed to be given out? And you see, the point I was trying to make with all this, Olkalau has set a perfect example of how a by-election can be very expensive for nothing.
Okay.
Because just today, I told you, I was on a different media platform, and I said, all things considered, including the bribery, including the violence that you're seeing in Olkalau propagated by government goons, the candidate is still ahead by 63% by my own analysis. Today, a poll came out from one of the polling agencies. It put
Infotrack?
Not Infotrack.
Which one?
I don't want to mention them. They've not paid me for advertising them. But they put them at...
That is just putting facts on the table.
They put the DCP candidate at 71% to win the parliamentary race. So, in spite of all that, the reason why the government is continuously upping the ante is because still all that they are doing is still not resonating to people, because people are wearing the hats of UDA while they are walking home, and they're still saying, we will go throw away these hats, come back tomorrow for more. So there is what you're considering, what you're telling me about the government coup.
Okay.
Is the government heavy-handedness when they realize that this election is still not going their way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that I really respect my advocate here for is the crown of propaganda. Today, I officially remove it and give it to him as the top propagandist. Because
what are your reasons?
My reasons are this. One,
and even as you answer that, there are so many things that the government has gone in there to even revive a railway, right? Nairobi, Gilgil, Olkalau, Nyahururu line on June this, and the amount of government officials that have descended upon that constituency and everything that is going on, it looks a bit crazy, right? So even as you answer,
So let's talk about the common sense
and justify my propaganda.
In fact, DCP now has an asset. Fanya mambo, you are retired. This guy can do them well on TV. Okay. Now, one, the government is efficient at the speed at which the government wants to operate. There's some places where the government is very, very slow. It's also a matter of common sense, Jagero, that things such as train, you cannot just wake up one morning and instruct Kenya Railways, ngurumesha engine, elekea Olkalau. It's not possible.
Okay.
The government operates on budgets, the yearly and supplementary budgets.
Okay.
For the Olkalau railway to be up and running again, it's a matter of coincidence that is matching with politics. You cannot wake up.
When was this discussed?
If you look at Kenya Railways papers, they must be having a strategic plan that lays out which lines are they going to resurrect. And it is not something that you just wake up one morning and say, "Well, Kenya Railways, ngurumesha yende Olkalau." It doesn't happen,
or perhaps they have just said, we see a project here that is in the pipeline. Can we bring it up to speed?
Or can we expedite it?
Yes.
But there must have been a conversation about it before then.
Okay.
That was already on and you know, the beauty is that DCP is complaining about government efficiency. And that is a beautiful complaint. They're not saying the government is not working. They're saying it is working too fast. Even the railway the railway has come too fast.
The railway that was supposed to be in November.
Yes, imekuja sahi. It's a good complaint. Then they're also saying that, you know, in the whole country, the President told people will bring gas. But here Olkalau imekuja haraka zaidi. So it's a very good complaint, and it works very good for us in government. We say it's beautiful. So appreciate our efficiency as much as you're complaining about it overwhelming you. You guys have a lot of money and propaganda. You can also use that as you're using what we have, because God asked Moses in the Bible, "What do you have in your hands, Moses?" Moses said, "Niko na makwajo." Akamwambia, "Hiyo makwajo chapa." Alafu tembea katikati ukienda. So now the government knows that Olkalau is unassailable. I said here before. That Olkalau is unassailable. DCP will win that seat, and I'm not afraid to say that. But DCP likes following the victim mentality, just to whip up emotions and say, "No, tunachapwa," so that these people feel like, you know, it's a strategy that they're using. Though it's a very bad strategy, because so many people will hold back. Imagine that the government is doing what? Is winning. It's a strategy. So as supporters of this regime, and I say it openly, I've always said it, gas cooker, kidogo namna hii, train, leso, unga, boats, government efficiency. Things are working.
Oh my God.
Things are working. And I'm happy you're complaining about the government working so efficiently. I don't know what you want.
Plus the CSS and everybody. Why are the CSS there?
The CSS are impeachable by law. We know where CSS can be impeached. If you engage in politics, they should be impeached by parliament. Yeah, and even President Ruto can fire them if he wants to. But it's also common sense that President Ruto would want, if they're serving him, then why should he fire them? So now we go back to institutions to check the excesses of the executive. And that means we go back to parliament.
Okay.
And ask parliament, what are you doing when CSS are campaigning? What are you doing when Mbadi is carrying 10 million shillings to each Arambe? Raila will never allow that. Wandai, what are you doing appearing in these empowerment things? Can you have structure? So parliament is the one that is misbehaving, brother. It is not Ruto. Blame parliament. Look at parliament in the eye and tell them what the hell is going on with you.
Mundalo. So there is something that is going on.
Yeah.
The government has retorted and given a very clear rejoinder to everybody in DCP and said that it is development, not bribery. Courier reparted.
Correct.
Gashag was 1 billion figure. You say we are spending 1 billion in Okalau. You are wrong. It's actually 10 billion.
Yes.
Okay. Then there is the legality of it. As a Kenyan outlet noted, the law does not bar CSS from politics or from commissioning government projects during election periods, but the Constitution, the Leadership and Integrity Act, and the Public Officer Ethics Act prohibit public officers from improperly using state resources or office to confer unfair political advantage. Don't you think it is unfair political advantage, Mr. Mundalo?
I think today is very interesting. I think one of the most interesting things I've had today, Jagero, is that in Olkalau mattresses are being given and the people are rejecting them and giving them to cows because they are saying...
To cows?
That's what our DCP chief propagandist told us, that they have said the mattresses are now being given to cows because they feel like these mattresses belong to patients. And I'm wondering, so after the cow sleeps on the mattress, then how does the patient get helped?
Yeah.
Because in both cases, I don't see it. That's usually the problem with propaganda. It will fall at some point. But I think the reality is that when you look at this by-election, and reasoning from a political point of view, everyone will always deploy their best arsenal to win an election. Because again, politics is the art of coercion. People use what they have in their hands to exercise and do this politics. That is what they use to do their coercion. My friend Odhiambo, as he's running for MP, one of the best tools he's using is his oratory skills. Because that is the item that he has in his hand.
Yeah, I don't have money.
So when you go to Olkalau and you are faced with a government candidate like the UDA candidate, then be sure that they will come in full package to win the vote, because that is what they need to do. It's about winning the vote. My problem is that when it is your stronghold as DCP and you are too worried that your people can be bought, then I wonder what type of people you have.
Yeah.
Because if your people believe you, then they can't be bought.
Exactly.
It is essentially, Jagero, like saying you fear your friend who has a good car visiting you because you fear your wife can leave you. Because it speaks more about your wife than the car.
Than the car, true.
Because DCP is essentially trying to tell us that, you know what, we are so scared our people might just be bought. But they have been telling us that this is their stronghold. And when I look at how the things are panning out in this game, my view is that in Olkalau, the party to win should be DCP. The candidate to win should be the DCP candidate. And the first attempt at them losing is them complaining. The moment they start complaining and it's in their stronghold, it starts not looking like a stronghold at all. Because in your stronghold, it should be a smooth ride. It's an easy ride. It's like Raila Odinga having a by-election in Homa Bay. It is easy. You can't hold 10 press conferences in one day to complain, and yet we are talking about your stronghold. So DCP is getting it very wrong, even from a strategic perspective, because already they are making their voters believe that, wait a minute, there is a problem somewhere. Remember, if you're talking about people reigning in, and we're talking about the law, DCP's chief campaigner is a UDA senator. So if anyone should be observing the law, then DCP should be observing the law even better. Because their chief campaigner is a UDA senator. So that chief campaigner called Methu should actually even not be doing that. So they can't sit on one side and tell us about the law. Because at the end of the day, what matters in an election is that did you actually win? And what I believe about, again, this by-election is the person who is the most organized person, the person who manages to get their voter out to vote, the person who is able to persuade the voter the best, that person is going to win this election. And if you have to judge an election using precedents, Jagero, I have been in Azimio and I voted for Raila many times. And one of the things that always made me know that we are losing is when I saw many press conferences. Every time we held a press conference to complain about the IEBC, to complain about something, it signaled us, it was as though to prepare us that, guys, we are going to lose, but you see, it was because of the IEBC. And what I'm seeing in Olkalau is that I'm seeing DCP following quickly in the script of Raila Odinga, which is not far from what I expect from them, because their party leader has always wished to be Raila Odinga. So it is quick learning, in my view. So they are trying to start signaling their people that, you know what, we might lose, but these are the reasons why we will lose, which I think is not very proper strategy. Remember, their party leader has also avoided going there. So that in the event of a loss...
Why is he not going there?
He's not going there, Jagero, so that in the event of a loss, he can say, we only lost because I didn't go. If I had gone, the results would have been much better. That is what you do, and I think that's good political science from a political party leader perspective. You always need to prepare a tangible excuse for your people in the event of loss. Yeah.
The other question that I wanted to ask is that what happens if... This is a question I asked you before we got into this podcast. I don't know whether you're going to change your answer, you're going to stay true. But why is Gachagua not going to the battlefield? Why is he afraid?
It's not about fear, and I've been asked this question severally before, but it's always about why Wamunyoro is not going to Olkalau, and never why President Ruto has not gone to Olkalau as well.
Yeah, he has got 8 CSS there.
Exactly, and we also have parliamentarians and senators there doing the same. So as Mundalo, I will agree with Mundalo on some things, but the take home from today's show is that I did not know these two guys can also hold their weight in comedy, because today they have made me laugh.
Yeah.
But one thing I need...
Somebody saying that his check arrived today.
The truth of the matter is, it is when this by-election came up, I remember one of the prerequisites that my party leader gave was that he will leave the locals to do their local business.
Okay.
That trend has carried on since the nomination. In fact, he mentioned and he told the now campaigners of the candidate for DCP, he told them that I want you guys to stay away. Let people choose the person they want to be represented via DCP. Do not interfere. Do not give us favorites. Let the people do what they need to do. And when we got a candidate who is now Sammy Douglas, when we got that candidate, when we moved on now to the campaign against the other candidates from different parties, I remember he also said that the only reason he will come there is if the SG of of DCP calls him and tells him that campaign has become difficult. And every time, even when we are campaigning there, the thing that Methu is saying is, my party leader gave me the permission to call him if I feel that this thing has gotten too heavy for me. But if I have not called him, it is not heavy for me. And I want to correct what Mundalo is saying, that complaining about what we can point out as facts signifies a precursor to loss.
Yeah.
You see, when it was on the base of history.
And I agree. I understood your context. However, the context is fundamentally different here. Because in the situation where we are in campaigns peacefully, we have let UDA do their campaigns as well. We don't interfere with their meetings. We don't destroy their meetings and stuff like that. However, every time that it is our side, there is a lot of violence coming from the government side. For example, I gave an example of Royal Gardens Hotel. Royal Gardens Hotel, I personally knew people who were there. They had gone, in fact, that night. They had just gotten there. And they were held up in a meeting with campaigners for the Sammy Douglas team. And they were rained on by government goons. And for some reason in Olkalau, the goons there, some of them who are being fished from Nairobi, are coming in big Prados. They are coming with guns. They are walking side by side with police. And immediately the police in that area raised this issue and said that we will no longer allow such things to happen. Some of them were transferred. So now you ask yourself, what precedent are we setting for this by-election? Because on one side, these guys want to say that it is our stronghold that we should not complain. But our people are being injured and maimed. In fact, there's a guy right now who is in hospital, nursing serious head injuries because of attacks from those goons. So what are we supposed to do when our campaigners and our mobilizers are being hurt? Are we supposed to be quiet? And then we report to the same people who, and when we do, they are transferred outside. Is Olkalau such a special case that we have no recourse to turn to?
And that is what he's asking. Where is the fairness?
So you know,
in throwing big stones.
You know, Jagero. Let's be serious with this discussion. Otherwise, it will be comic throughout. Because
you're the one who's making it. You're the one who is being
about it. You know,
I am telling you I'm trying going on the ground.
For real, I'm trying to find substance to respond to him, but I just find pure comedy because Jagero is saying our people are being maimed. It doesn't give any specific case. He said police are being transferred. It doesn't give no specific. There's a name. Police have tags. They have a number.
Come on.
No, come on.
Why would you?
Just, I mean, I'm finishing. He's saying that our people, police are working with goons side by side and coming to Olkalau. Where's the video? We are on a national platform. We can play it. Here we are not restricted. We can play. We are free. Bring it. You have your phone. Give producer there, Susan Howie. She'll play it straight away so that I keep quiet if I'm lying. You know. So whatever he's trying to do is I think he should come to my school of propaganda because he's trying to do a lot of.
Go to his.
No, this is comedy. You know, you need to have propaganda that sinks. It's not looking floating because Jagero. If you have to do propaganda, you must have a case story. Something that people identify with. Goebbels' principles of propaganda. Joseph Goebbels was the minister of propaganda for Nanim, for Hitler. And he gave the principles that I want my brother to read. And one of them...
I have a feeling that you are putting on the spot to provide a video that it doesn't have so that you could prove your case.
It doesn't have. So if it doesn't have, it doesn't exist. If it is there, just produce under you like. This thing it accepts Bluetooth and even AirDrop. Just put. Then she will play. If there is somebody who has been maimed in Olkalau, the producer here is very, very ethical. She will blur the face and will show the maiming because you can't just throw generalities. He's not making any point.
What Odhiambo is doing is leaning on technicalities because I have made claims
but himself
for sure.
He knows that you cannot win a case on technicalities.
No.
You cannot win a case on technicalities. And that's what I'm telling him. That you cannot say, actually, you cannot win a case on generalities. You must be specific.
True.
Okay? So you are coming here and telling us, there is something that is being said. Our people are being maimed. Who has been maimed? Why would you
You have a feeling that is
I'm making these things up.
Why? He's making them up.
It's not a feeling, Jagero.
Yeah,
because
he's making them up.
We're talking about things and he is telling us that Prados have been seen moving goons.
Yeah.
Remember, he is not in Olkalau.
He's in Nairobi.
Meaning this information got to him in some way.
Yeah.
Meaning if it got to him in a manner that made it so practical, then it must have been a video. Somebody must have been able to send him a video and say, you know what, look at the cars that are carrying the goons.
Yeah.
Look at the policemen that when you transfer an OCS, for instance, Jagero, an OCS is a publicly known person who has a name. We can be able to say he has been moved from here.
The OCS XYZ has been moved.
Here.
Yeah.
And you see, the issue is, and I think where I don't fault my brother, is that this is a script taken from their party leader.
Yeah.
You just throw around things and say so many things and cause sensation. This is what he has always said ever since he left. He was kicked out of government. And they will always have general statements about everything. Like they know how much money government is spending. They know how much money UDA is spending. And it's always 1 billion. I don't know why it's never 1.125.
Yeah, it's always 1 billion.
The figure is always very compact. It's 1 billion that has been spent in Olkalau. It's 1 billion that has been spent in Mbere. It's 1 billion. I'm like, okay, even on the base of propaganda, when you go to Odhiambo's school, they will tell you that to make it more factual, say 1.205.
Yes.
Yeah, say 993.
And relate it to a case in the currency.
Yeah, so that it can't always just be 1 billion. So the truth is that these are generalities that they have come up with because it is a question of he say, she say. So we cannot just believe you because it's you see those arguments Jagero hapo tell you, si ni mimi ndio nakuambia. That is what DCP is telling us.
Kama utaki kwenda.
It is telling us that si ni mimi ndio nakuambia.
Can I ask you, Mr. Mondalo?
Yeah.
What do you hear happening in Olkalau right now? What is the situation like in the ground? Is it
what I hear on the what
because
I
that
hear,
would also be very important to hear. What do you hear?
What I hear on the ground in Olkalau is that I hear it's a tight race.
Okay.
I hear it's a neck-to-neck race, and I hear the people who are most jittery about this election are the political parties more than the people. The people know who they want, but the political parties and their political party leaders are the most jittery because of what it means for their political agenda and what it means for their political motion going forward. So I hear that there is a lot of tension, especially within the politicians, not the people, because politicians are on the ground and they have to deliver for their bosses. There is a UDA Secretary General in DCP who has to deliver for the DCP candidate. There are many leaders also from the political party of UDA who have to deliver for UDA. So I hear that it's actually a very, very tight race. I hear that those people are really competing very, very seriously. What I don't hear is the things that now we are being told by my brother that who has arrived with whatever. And remember, Jagero, if you are in an election where it is your stronghold, any act of anyone trying to interfere will always be brought to the fore. In fact, you will be arrested by the people. When you try to do that where it is a stronghold, go to Raila Odinga's stronghold and attempt to do that. It is the people that will block those prados and arrest everyone in them. It will be a people arrest. Because you're saying it's your stronghold, that means you have the people. So I'm wondering why on one end you have the people and on the other end you sound like you are very helpless.
I saw Mushina's you know, what is it called in the road? What is it called? This big banner. Thing. Big banner being brought down in Olkalau.
So
the government is not
complaining. Douglas's banner.
No, but the government. I didn't.
But what you saw was which one?
Mushina's.
But his is what he's telling you. You see the difference? You see, let me tell so you. Much about things that they will speak about. But what you saw was actually Mushina.
You saw
did you see it?
I saw it as well. Did you see it?
Yeah, DCP are pontiffs.
You didn't see the one for Douglas. Did you see the one for Douglas?
Just wait.
So, let me tell you.
Just wait.
Jagero should ask Wesley. Did he see Mushina's?
Yes, I did.
Exactly.
So DCP are pontiffs.
Did you see DCPs? It is that simple.
Let me tell you. You see, today we're in a very subjective interpretive situation because
and interpretation is a whole unit in school of law.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
And everybody has his own.
It's a matter of conviction.
Exactly, it's a matter of conviction.
These guys will tell you.
I am really frustrated with this conversation.
These guys will tell you. These guys will tell you. Let me tell you.
Because you are lying. He's lying.
It's a lying part.
Let me tell you.
Audience doesn't enjoy the lies.
Today, Odhiambo and Mundalo have decided to be blind because personally, I do not write the news, right? After that attack I mentioned about Royal Gardens, it was all over the news, but they did not see that. They did not hear people saying that while they were reporting the news, they talked about how DCP people were held up in that hotel. Yeah. And in fact, it took intervention of some hotel staff to help them.
They said DCP has said it has been attacked.
No.
It's different from just saying there has been an attack.
So now, you see, this is the
attack.
Shifting of goalposts I'm talking about. He has said, because the people who reported this thing to the police station were people from DCP. Exactly. But now he is saying that it is DCP who said.
Yeah.
So what is the work of journalists?
I can
to
prove
report.
I can prove it the way Odhiambo wants.
You can prove it.
Yeah.
But
where can the producer?
At the end of the day, the proof that will be there is that the people from DCP reported that matter. So what are journalists supposed to do? Is report the matter as is reported to them.
You know, Jagero, on a more serious note, the actual war in Olkalau is not between UDA and DCP. The actual war is inside the united opposition. It is between Jubilee and DCP.
And that is what I wanted to ask.
And he knows.
That's what I want to ask you. Why is Uhuru Kenyatta splitting DCP's
Exactly, and that's what I'm coming to. I've always said, Uhuru Kenyatta looks at Bwana DCP, hapo na masikio akiweka namna hii, and he's looking at him and saying, this was my maid. You know, this was my maid. This one can tell me nothing.
Maid.
Yeah.
On the
And
defense
he
of
was a
Uhuru
PA.
Kenyatta.
He was a PA for Uhuru.
I disagree.
Let me.
It's not a maid.
It's not a maid, but I mean figurative. I don't
So
mean
I
it.
should not be dumb.
Yeah, don't be dumb. so Uhuru looks at DCP and says huyu ni mtu yangu ya mkono, just like Jirongo looks at Ruto and said huyu ni mtu yangu ya mkono, alikuwa anaendesha driver yangu hii ati sasa anakuwa deputy president namna gani. You know, so Uhuru looks at nani at what's his name, Gachagua. Sasa huyu kijana yangu ya kazi hii nilimemtumatuma hapa na pale, hata baada yuko sasa anataka kusema yeye pia anapigana mimi. And you see, Olkalau was not a UDA seat. It was a Jubilee seat. Kiarao was a Jubilee MP. Because you can just snatch it away from Uhuru and he leaves. That's why he's brought in Engineer Wilson Kigwa, who is the candidate for Jubilee.
Okay.
If the opposition was strong enough, they would have harmony within themselves and produce one candidate.
First of all, let
me just finish.
I get very tired when I hear people say
let me just finish. Don't be jittery, my brother.
Yeah.
And shy. You know.
As a Jubilee member,
yeah. So you see, Jubilee.
He's giving his prayer. He's giving his prayers to me in a court of law.
So you see, Jubilee is only doing what they know how to do best, which is fighting and defending their seat. On the minimum, you have to defend your seat. You can't just leave your seat at
they're party poopers.
You could say that, or you could say the party pooper, but the actual party pooper is DCP, because this is Jubilee's seat. Let me use the culture.
This is not a party pooper.
Let me use the culture, Jagger. Let me use the culture.
Okay.
In our culture, in the Luo culture, for example, when my wife passes on, it is expected that the family, if there's another girl in the family, or a girl of a daughter somewhere, I'll be given to protect the sister's property.
Okay.
So that children are not pinched their ears by other weird moms. You know? So now like this one in Olkalau, the actual parent wants a daughter from Jubilee, to take care of the family. But you're bringing somebody who's putting his ears like this. He's gonna pinch.
See, I keep on telling you.
You are saying that you are tired of this.
I keep on hearing this argument and I find it tiring because it is not new in any way. Like I'm saying, he keeps on saying that this was a Jubilee.
The understanding in the mount, on the mount, is that we need to vanquish Ruto. We need to take him away. One jab, But then Uhuru comes and says, no. I'm joining this fight.
I personally,
why is Uhuru joining?
Let me tell you,
fight?
I personally believe that you're overplaying Uhuru's influence in that election. And let me tell you why. This argument, first of all, has been there before. For example, in the Narok seat, there was a similar call for consensus and we should have one candidate. But still, Jubilee went on and fielded a candidate against ours and against UDA's candidate, and their candidate got 70 votes. It is not an issue. Jubilee
got 70 votes.
He got 70 votes in Narok MCA Township ward. And that same argument is playing out here today.
But Olkalau is not Narok.
Hold up, yeah? Let me finish. Allow me to make my point.
Okay.
The MP for Jubilee was Kiaraho, right? And it is obvious that you would want to retain your seat.
Oh, sorry.
And you see,
maybe we should get more water.
Please.
It is getting hot.
Hot. Give him hot.
Let me tell you, I was saying
that
parties are not run by only individuals. Yes, sometimes we might see that they are attached to an individual, but the members of the party might say, we also want to have our say in Olkalau. That's why they refuse to see the candidate, in spite of the fact that the people of Olkalau are still majority lying with DCP. So you allow them to do their thing, all right?
Okay.
However, I've told you, even now, the polling of the Jubilee candidate is very low. That is why
How low?
I'll answer.
Yes.
When Otieno here comes and tells us that the real fight is between Jubilee and DCP, I hear Mundalo quietly say that was settled, because it was. Unfortunately, the truth of the matter is that the people were not thinking of Jubilee as a factor in that election. So right now, as I speak to you, by my own analysis, right, the Jubilee candidate is at less than 5%. In spite of how this goes,
do you think that is? How much of votes?
Depending on the constituency and the voter turnout.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Yeah, about how much?
5% of it's about 67,000 votes in Ol Kalou.
Okay.
So 5% of the votes cast. I don't know. I am not sure
but
what the turnout will be.
Very interesting, right? Because this gentleman says neck and neck. It's tight.
No,
right?
he says it's neck and neck.
Yes, tight.
Between UDA and DCP.
Yes.
According to him.
Yes.
I disagree with that completely.
You
with
disagree?
With that assessment completely, because I have been there, I have done my own research.
Okay,
right?
but you said that it is actually about 30-70.
Yes.
30-70. That is
yes,
what the,
with
what,
the
that
Jubilee
is what
person being at
Infotrack is
5%.
saying. That's what Infotrack.
Not Infotrack. Yeah, don't quote me with Infotrack. I don't know why you keep wanting to advertise Infotrack.
You know, we've always quoted sources.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Go check the poll. Go check the poll released today by Swiss Poll.
You are talking about Swiss. One of the pollsters which cannot be regarded by any credible human being.
Of course you would say that.
No, it cannot.
Why?
I'm sharing with you. Yesterday, the same Swiss poll released a fake poll in Kisumu, and I shared with the candidate there who is my friend. I asked him,
why are you saying it is fake?
Because we poll constantly. I have a dashboard where I monitor, and we know what is going on.
So your poll is credible, but mine is not.
Of course, I'm a pollster. I've been doing this for 8 years. Swiss, look. If you want to verify the integrity of a poll, you compare it against three. Just a minute. Wait a minute.
No.
You take a poll. You take Mundalo's poll. You take my poll. Take Jagiru's poll, and then you see are they on some average line. But if Swiss poll is running at 70-30, the rest are between 49-48, 49-48, 46-47.
So which others? Me, I've told you mine was at 63%.
And
Swiss poll is at 70%.
Don't regard it. It is. Let me share with you. You're telling us things that.
I don't like the way you are going against your own community.
No, but it's true. Our own community has a bad reputation because of such people.
Today you're going to get a demand.
Yeah, it has a bad reputation because of such people. They're lying.
Who are these Swiss people?
Who knows them? Where's their address?
Wait, I don't like the way Mundalo is quiet about this thing. I don't like the way you are quiet. What is going on? Because apparently the polls are manufactured.
Before Mundalo comes in, it's convenient for Otieno to say it's manufactured when it suits him and not. However, that is not withstanding.
I think to be fair to this conversation that we are having, the two of us, we were talking about neck and neck. Or
according to Mundalo,
you are putting it at 60.
Yeah,
right. 63. Let's work with your 60. But we also know that polls are not very,
yes, there's a margin of error.
They don't do the
course.
bullseye, correct?
Yeah.
They don't do the bullseye. So tukiteremsha hiyo yako ikuje 50.
So unitolate 13%. Unitolate 13%.
Yesterday we talked with the gentleman here. Remember, we talked about something called a normal graph. Statistically, even in polling, your polling must achieve something called a normal graph. It's called a bell graph.
Okay, what is a bell graph?
A bell graph is basically. Let me draw for you, Mundalo. Excuse me.
But will the people see that bell graph?
They will see. I will demonstrate.
We will zoom in.
Please, Nani. I want you to zoom in.
It can be seen. I think they will see.
This X and Y axis, okay? These ones are always the constants.
Okay.
Sawa. Then here we always have the what? The variables.
Okay.
These variables affect the constant to a level that it must achieve a graph that looks like that. That's called a bell graph. That on this part, or let me divide into 3/3. Okay. On the first third, the very intelligent or the exceptionals are few. The unfortunate are also few. Majority are somewhere here. So that in a case of Ol Kalou, for example, the pollster will give you something that will not be far from this.
Okay.
It will either take a shape of this, okay, or it will take a shape of something that is a bit sharp here, but somehow it has to be a normal bell graph.
Yeah.
So if a pollster tells you that you are at 90%, which means you are looking like this.
Okay.
Then the rest are here.
Okay.
It's a steep fall. It's not normal.
It's not
That's
normal.
what we are saying.
But that's a fall of Swiss poll.
That's a fall of Swiss poll.
I'm telling you, please today.
No, but
you will get a demand.
No.
I'm not afraid. What do you mean?
You'll be told to retract your
I want to retract.
No,
I want them to come and
coming
prove.
back to you.
Yeah.
I'm coming back to you specifically. If we agree that the US can come to around 55, because you are at 63, 55.
I know what he's about to ask.
And then
Uh-huh.
we bring in 5% from Jubilee. What happens to you? Something is tipped. Either you are tipped this way or you are tipped this way. So actually, the people that are with Jubilee might have been your votes. And you're going to lose because Jubilee has cutted away some of the votes. True?
So you are assuming that the 5% will automatically vote for UDA, or what is your
No, the 5% will vote for Jubilee. Therefore, denying you the requisite vote that you would have needed to tip
But
the
if
scale.
if the gap is more than 10%, even if they vote, it doesn't affect our votes.
But you are also talking about 5%. We could also take them to 10. In the real thing, when they go to the booth, right?
That is an assumption.
No,
I can only work with what I know.
What do you know?
And I've said, I've
Yeah.
already done my own analysis,
Yes.
and I've told you it was a 63%. Today,
You guys are winning that seat, right?
yes.
What's the problem?
No, I'm just supposed to. I was responding. No, are you giving up?
Jagero, it is common sense.
Today I have experienced goal shifting like never before. The goal is here, they are changing it as we
I want to
speak.
ask Mundalo, because Mundalo is from
Oh my God. Oh my God. Today I'm exhausted because of goal shifting.
I'm so sorry, my brother. But you see, you're working with people paid by the government.
They have energy. As they said, the check has arrived today. Very energetic.
NIS, what's saying? NIS is saying, Annie is saying the check has arrived. She knows. Mr. Mundalo,
Yeah.
what is DCP, what is Jubilee doing in that election?
You know, Jagero, poor political strategy is always what DCP does. And one of those things they do is exactly what Wesley is trying to do here.
Yeah.
They shout more than they plan. They shout more than they strategize. They chest thump more than anything else. And that's why they are not aware that when you introduce another element into that election, the way you introduce Jubilee and it scatters the vote, then it is very disadvantageous for you. Because when you go to an election, you go to win, and you must be able to ensure that you have maximized your chances. If anything, you must beat your opponent black and blue.
Yeah.
So you really weigh down. But now you see part of their poor strategy is looking down on their coalition partners. So they want to have a coalition with Jubilee. They want Matiang'i to support them, but they want to look down on Matiang'i's candidate and say he has zero influence in Olkalau. Now, that is not proper strategy, even from a national scale, leave alone even from the Olkalau scale. But again, when you look at what was the agreement of this united opposition, the united opposition had an agreement that they will always field the candidate in any by-election. The candidate will always come from the party that has lost. For instance, in Mbeere, they were able to field the DP candidate, and all of them rallied behind the Democratic Party candidate because it's the Democratic Party that had lost that seat. When it came to Olkalau, it is Jubilee that had lost the seat. But this is where they chose to move away from the facts that they had already agreed upon. And that's why Jubilee felt aggrieved and said, no, wait a minute, we did this in Mbeere. Why aren't we doing it in Olkalau? And DCP argued in the same gusto that Wesley puts it, and said, you guys are unpopular, you guys are a non-starter.
But they're the ones who actually won that seat in 2022.
Yeah, it's Jubilee that won that seat. So already you can be able to see the fragmentation and the fracture within that united opposition. That's why Odhiambo was saying that part of their biggest struggle in Olkalau is the war between each other than the war against the opponent. And what you can evidently see is how they poorly strategize, because they go to the election thinking chanting and high volume will give you the vote. So they disregard their coalition partners, they throw them under the bus, and then they think they don't matter. And that's the same thing that will happen even at the national scale. And that's how UDA will beat them. Because UDA is consolidating every voter. Remember, one of the things that UDA did is that the person who lost the nominations in DCP joined UDA.
Yeah.
This is a person who had lost, leave alone winning. He had lost, but he was coerced into joining UDA. So even if he had 1% of the vote, UDA knew that it is very, very significant and it is important. Because the one who beats you with one vote in a by-election...
He was told that he cannot stray out, go stray out and get in another party.
Yeah, he left DCP. He was the DCP guy, but he went to UDA. Now, That shows you that UDA is really trying to galvanize every number. It's trying to ensure that they are losing no single vote, because they understand that in the execution of the winning formula,
yes,
every vote counts, and the one who has 2 votes more than you is the winner. The one who has 1 vote more than you becomes the member of parliament.
It's a simple majority.
It is simple majority. But what is DCP going to the election with? Gusto, energy, and shouting. Unfortunately.
Okay.
See, just allow me to respond.
Yeah, I want us to go to Sifuna, but now I'm going to allow you to give a rejoinder.
Just give me.
But can I ask him one more question before you come?
Sure.
He's telling me, Mr. Wesley, that Uhuru has no hand in whatever is going on in Olkalau.
I said you
No,
overplayed.
he said Uhuru's
Overplayed.
hand is inconsequential.
No, I did not say that.
Because when he says,
I did not say that.
because-
Mudalo, do not put words in your mouth.
Let us
I
go to
said
interpretation.
No.
When
Don't
you say you are
interpret. Do not
overstretching
interpret
Uhuru's
my
influence.
words.
Yes.
I
When
will
you
not
say
allow Mudalo to
overstretching.
interpret my
Overstretching.
words.
Did you say overstretching?
I
Yes.
said overplayed.
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 And
And
the
the reason
means
why
that you are saying it's inconsequential.
No. That is your interpretation. You cannot
No,
fault
it
me
is-
for
it-
your misunderstanding of the
No,
Queen's language.
no.
That is you.
The Queen's language.
Allow me
The
to
Queen's
say.
I'm going to check.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Let-
Do that.
I'm going
please
to check.
VR.
Sasa ni shule na mimi sikuenda.
You can check Jagero.
Let me say,
It is
let
that
me-
simple.
as you
It's
check
only shule,
Jagero,
everything
as you check Jagero,
I am checking,
the reason
yes.
why you hear the phrase from the horse's mouth is not, you cannot interpret while I am seated here.
Okay.
I said it is overplayed, and it's because even in the strategy of what we've seen from Jubilee in the past by-elections, Uhuru Kenyatta has taken a hands-off approach. He's let the party members be involved. He's let the party members do their thing. He's let local people do their own things. So even in Olkalau, that's the kind of thing you've seen. You've not seen Uhuru anywhere within the Olkalau by-elections. In fact, it has been the deputy party leader, Matiang'i, who has been more involved, and the party officials. So to say that I said his hand is inconsequential is not. And before you read the interpretation, let me finish by
Lawyers are
saying
good of their words.
Why are you again afraid of interpretation?
overplayed. Let me tell you, overplayed. I meant it does not mean he
But
is
it
completely
can be read.
absent.
Let it just
yes,
be read.
it will be read.
Yeah.
From my understanding, I said you.
No, understanding of English is general.
Okay.
It can't
Yeah,
have you as a
inconsequential
mind.
describe the thing's actual importance.
Exactly.
Which
In
is
fact-
low, while overplayed describes how it was treated relative to its importance, inflated. So it's more or less the same thing.
Yeah, that's why I wanted him to understand that when it comes to
Absolutely.
More or less. Well, you can go with the more or less.
when it comes Jagero, you have
Maybe
to
context. I don't know, but mimi sikwenda shule. Can we go to Sifuna?
I can excuse my brother on matters law, but when it comes to matters language, he has to know that I score slightly above average.
I think you're
above him.
both correct.
No, we are not both correct. I am correct.
Overplayed
And what
means I think he
means
has a hand,
is
but it's
inconsequential.
not as much.
That
He
that
is
means
hand off.
inconsequential.
It's not inconsequential.
That means inconsequential.
Inconsequential can be translated to
Okay,
being a
wewe ukwenda
toothless
shule.
dog.
Mbona usemi kitu?
No, they're squabbling over lexicology.
You might think
lexicon.
Let's go.
and having been a former lecturer and educator, you know, even commas. There's something called legal writing in my
Yes,
school. of law.
I've taught people
As
a lot
much
of
as a
English.
comma,
Yeah.
as much as shall, may,
Yeah, will alter
completely-
meaning.
Yes.
Okay, so look,
Yeah.
let's context matters most. You know, lawyers concentrate on commas and full stops. but yeah, you know, the reason that's why lawyers are not very good managers.
Yes, good one.
No, they're not good managers. The highest, look, Jagero, the highest level, the highest registered numbers of divorces within the white collar area is amongst the legal fraternity. Yes,
Because they're looking at commas.
because they're
A
thinking,
woman is talking about onions.
because they're thinking like prosecutors. They're not thinking like scientists. Oh my God. So it's squabbling over a comma and a full stop. Whereas Mundalo is talking about context. That whatever you talked about implies.
Yes.
Okay.
The implication is that if this is what you're saying, then Uhuru's impact is inconsequential, which is good English, fine English. And you know what my brother cannot run away from is that their honors. Sorry, that language is inappropriate. Inachomwa najua because they're the united opposition. They have a code, but they're disrespecting that code themselves.
Yeah.
Mundalo said they agreed amongst themselves.
Yes.
That,
Which was-
just a minute. The context matters, you know. It's not comma and full stop. That if we lose an election, right, it is us to front a candidate.
Okay.
They are telling Uhuru, and his party.
Okay.
In Kijaluo we say nyani au ni kolunde. You are not popular.
Yes.
You're not popular. But them they don't know that as you're telling him you're not popular, then they're exposing themselves. That the United Opposition has a fault line, which means after this whole Kalau election, you will see civil strife, internal civil strife within United Opposition, where, and I've said this before, that the state is looking at the United Opposition and wondering, where is the easiest fault line? Okay? And if there's disrespect amongst themselves, where somebody is saying, it is where you're weak, you don't front a candidate. If he's weak, support him. That's why you're united. Or what is uniting you? Apart from the name. Apart from the name.
If he's weak, then all galvanize.
Galvanize.
Or rather what happens in a working coalition, Jagero, when that is the agreement, and the party has a weak candidate, the strong candidate from the other party decamps to the other party, so that at the end of the day, you galvanize the numbers and you help each other as a coalition. But of course, they are not a coalition. That's why they believe that Jubilee's influence and President Uhuru Kenyatta's influence is once again
the United Opposition. The United Opposition is a parliament of owls. It's a parliament of people who have big eyes and whose heads can turn like this to the back. The reason I'm saying that, if you look at an owl, you won't trust that animal, because you don't know if it flies in the night or if it flaps its wings, it does not produce any sound. Even in a laboratory, it was tested. The documentary is there on YouTube, that an owl flaps its wings, it doesn't produce a sound. It operates stealthily and then picks whatever it wants to pick. So this is a parliament of owls, where they want to operate without making any noise, but vulturing amongst themselves. Internal hemorrhage. That internal hemorrhage is going to affect you, my brother, as the United Opposition. Because after this election, Jubilee of Matiang'i will be looking and saying, these guys don't value us. Okay? So tunakaa, it's called cordial hypocrisy. Tunakaa, najua sipendi Mundalo anipendi, but tuko. Cordial hypocrisy. Now, cordial hypocrisy is the easiest to break, even in corporate politics, because I just need to set Mundalo against you. Or you need to set Mundalo against me, and he will tell you everything about me, and we are going with it. So this thing is going to affect you guys badly.
Mr. Jeff, Mr. Wesley, are you going to take this in good faith, or are you going to push back?
Let me tell you, the pushback.
Your viewers are saying, next topic, please.
I agree. But allow me to say this, right?
Yes, quickly.
We're still in a democracy, and if Jubilee does not agree to subscribe to the majority, they are allowed to feel that.
You see, that's anarchy.
And you see, it's not about anarchy, right?
That's anarchy.
The reason why we say this is because, again, power rests with the people. If the people tell us we want this direction, you cannot again come and impose a different direction on them. That is them resting their argument again on technicalities and formalities. But the reality on the ground is that people wanted something different. They had been with Jubilee, but then they decided, okay, the member of parliament was formally in Jubilee, but we don't want to be in Jubilee anymore. So give us something new. And that's how we ended up with DCP being the majority party.
When was
among
the public
people.
participation that made that possible?
In the same way you would ask that, is the same way I would ask this agreement you keep talking about that they agreed. Where is it?
They came out.
They said it themselves. Are you the guest in Jerusalem?
No.
Do we produce video evidence?
No,
because
it's okay.
unlike you, we have this.
Yeah, because as we have, we will just bring it out right now.
Even towards the lead up to the election in Mbeere North, Jubilee was still squabbling whether they're going to field the candidate or not. They were still not aligned.
Why are you DCP? Why are you DCP keeps on telling?
So we're
Jubilee,
supposed to
No,
tell.
just a question. Why do you keep on telling Jubilee we were hawezi, but you're telling them you are united? What unites you? So you're my friend and you keep on telling me.
Because
unity
the majority has already been defined.
Exactly.
Coming here to make strong.
We are getting our weaknesses together.
But I'll tell you something I always tell people.
Okay.
And it is a saying from where I come from.
Which is
tributaries feed into big rivers.
Yes.
That's all I'll say.
Okay, and I agree. So let's say the DCP is the ocean.
Yes.
And all rivers go to the ocean. Namumina ore. Namna hiyo. So all the rivers, even in our language we have it, it's called Namumina ore.
Yes.
Like the lake cannot come to the river. It's the rivers to come to the lake. So and that's the problem.
Spirit of united opposition.
That's
right?
the problem. That's not the spirit of united opposition. That's the spirit of DCP. That they're the ocean. And everybody else is weak, must come to them.
That is up to the people.
But you cannot say
that is up to the people.
In the boardroom politics, Jakeru, where we sit and plan, you cannot say that because you're weak in public, you're not strong here. Help so that they have some ego, so that they walk with some strength. Jubilee kuwa hata na MP mmoja. Unataka kukataza Jubilee hata MP, hata MCA namna hii. Unaambia Jubilee.
So we should feel massive for Jubilee while DCP at DCP's expense.
But you see now, the problem that keeps coming out is that people are saying that, for example, DCP is saying that they are the strongest, and therefore everybody has to work the tail.
Yeah, that's anarchy.
Which, and we don't need to hear it out here.
Yeah,
because it's not a good thing for us to hear that somebody else is weak in there.
Yeah,
because then when you come out of the house, you just come out, all of you.
Yeah, and like, you know, actually, and you're giving a good example.
Yes.
Like when Mundalo trains people in leadership, we do advise CEOs.
Yes.
And there's something called the escalation cost. We tell them, when you come out of your organization fighting and the staff can see, when you come out of the boardroom fighting and the staff can see, what are you effecting? You are effecting insurrection in the organization. People are going to start hating you. And once they lose the credibility and trust in you, you start losing the perception index. Okay? Now what these guys are doing is that in the bedroom, which is central Kenya, you guys need to unite and say, Mama Nani, hapa unaenda sana. Na pia nasema unajua nilikuwa na kuprotect. Hapa unajua wale watu ni wabaya. Lakini tukitoka nje let's smile. Then unakuja guest wako sitting room unasema tuombe na kila mtu anaamka na wote nao wanaomba. Then you greet with smiles, but between the two of you, you know that we are not lying to each other in the boardroom. But if you go out trashing your wife in public, what happens, brother?
So what happens if
your
wife agreement?
Somebody with a car like Mundalo will look at your wife and say, and then this man is mistreating this beautiful girl. Let me take him out. Let me take her away.
Your people are saying move on.
It's okay.
I think we need to move
on.
For the
purposes of seriousness, the unity of this thing is with. Even in the election that is coming, we're still going to compete for those seats. The only place that we're going to agree is at the top seat. That's what I can say.
Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna is said to lead mass exodus from ODM. Okay? Loyal leaders in Kinamundalo, the Bukuzus and the rest of them, Kinamundalo, in Linda Mwananchi movement, resolving to front him for the 2027 presidency through a new party, signaling he may end his legal battle to remain ODM Secretary General. Okay? The resolutions came at a Sunday meeting hosted by Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya, attended by Sifuna himself, Vihiga Senator Godfrey Usosi, Kabuchai MP Mijimbo Kalasinga, and Bumala MP Wamboka Wanami. All right. So I'm starting with Mr. Mundalo because he's the one that is his community. Those are his people, and I'm wondering. I think the issue of Mr. Sifuna has been said here over and over again, but we go back, we take 2 steps back. Yeah. We go forward, take 2 steps back. Yeah. And I am beginning to look bad talking about Sifuna. Mr. Winsor Wesley, these 2 gentlemen do not like Sifuna.
Which ones?
Not in that way. Not see evil.
No, you stop branding us wrong.
No, see evil.
No.
I'm saying
say the right thing.
You don't like.
No, say the right thing.
You don't like the way.
I don't like the liturgy that Sifuna operates with. Wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey.
The liturgy.
Yeah, and not accepting the red carpet. Walking like a commoner on the grass, and the dew is killeth him.
So,
I think Tuesdays are our comedy shows.
Whatever he's on, he should have it once in a while.
Exactly. But I didn't see much of it on my birthday, did I?
Are you complaining?
Yeah, I'm really complaining because I want to go back to Mundalo. Mundalo, it is very interesting because Mudavadi is also twiddling his thumbs and, twiddling his fingers and saying, this is mine. Wetangula is also saying the same. The other day we were in a funeral, and I don't know whether it is correct to say that Sifuna dared Didmas Baraza. And that dare did not go well.
Yes.
Right? And so Odhiambo is saying that Sifuna is the kingpin of Loyal Land. But that funeral tells a different story. And the stories that keep coming from Loyal Land, I'm not sure whether it is a case of a prophet not being accepted at home, but Raila was accepted at home. Wamunyoro is largely being embraced at home. Uhuru is being embraced at home. And, the Nilot is being embraced in the valley. So I'm wondering, Mr. Mundalo, why are you like DCP and Jubilee down there? What is going on with what is going on? Because I want to start from Luhya and then extrapolate. Is that the correct English?
Yes.
Yes. Bring it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay? And say, okay, so what is going on there? Mr. Mundalo, why is it that you guys are not accepting Sifuna at home?
I think saying that the people are not accepting Sifuna at home is stretching it too far. The reality is that Honorable
It's being
Sifuna,
overplayed.
No. I doubt it's even an English word. So the reality is that Sifuna has some acceptance, not just from people in Western, but he exhibited some excitement at some point, generally across the country, from different quarters of people. So saying he's been too low is stretching it too far. But again, it's also not right to say that there is mass exodus out of ODM because of the members of parliament and the leaders that met, because actually all of them are not members of ODM. All those are leaders from different political parties. In reality, Sifuna, being a Secretary General of ODM, has not been able to win any seat parliamentary in Bungoma County where he comes from. So ODM has not had Bungoma as its stronghold, even with Sifuna as Secretary General. But be that as it may, what is now happening in this regard is that most of the time, you being a political kingpin anchors a lot on some solid grounding.
Yeah.
And when the ground is not very solid, most of the time, unfortunately, it will wither away. It is very difficult to become a king on the basis of some online excitement. It is very difficult to become a king on the basis of the heat of the moment. It is not easy to be able to achieve those kind of things for the heat of the moment. So when you look at looks like
What do I Happy birthday to you.
I'm actually my train of thought has just been affected.
Very nice.
Happy birthday to you.
Very nice.
Birthday to you.
Very nice. Should I start cutting? I don't know how this one.
Come this side.
Birthday to you.
Very nice.
How old are you now? Say 50.
62.
You know,
Kata keki tuyoga.
Kwame.
like this.
Not on the table.
I will apart from Nyakachino.
After all, you're already doing it, so just do it.
Do it your way.
Whether you're doing it right or wrong, just do it.
Very nice.
It is fireworks in the studio. A lot of diabetes has just walked in. Fireworks.
The people are saying, nani huyu ameleta mchanganyiko mkuu.
Okay, very good. Can I get a 4? Because I want to give my guess.
In finishing.
Where is Auma? Auma should be there.
Wachana na hii wachana.
No. Oh, you don't know.
All right, I want to give you guys this one very quickly, and then we go back to Julie. Thank you very much.
Caught him off guard.
Oh my God. My guy.
Thank you.
Chami Moro.
This is for wishing you a good win.
Call me back here after we win.
After what?
After we win.
After you win, you are coming back. How about if you lose? Are you coming back?
I will.
You're gonna come back.
But we won't lose.
You would lose?
Yeah.
Okay. Be careful. Yambo, this is for you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Before he died, he took the bread, gave his disciples, and said, "Take this, all of you."
Asanteni sana.
Happy birthday, Jagero.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, tell the people how old you are.
I am 44.
Oh, you're 44.
Yes.
Such a young boy.
Very nice.
Very nice. Yeah.
Salt
Which
and
cake
caramel.
is this?
Salt caramel.
Yeah. Having a woman is good. Yeah, Jalala. Having a woman is
A
good.
good woman.
A good woman, yeah? Having a good woman is good.
Bro. Okay, well, what were we saying? We were talking about Sifuna.
You're saying something.
We were talking about. See, that is good. Thank you very much.
So silly.
Actually, yeah. Why not?
What is that?
What can you?
You know what we are saying?
Yeah.
DWJ ni sawa.
No, sawa hii
Ni
pia.
political headache. Ni sawa.
But this stuff of political headache.
Yeah?
You must
want me
give
to
them
give them?
something. Yeah. Come this side. Just come here.
Yes.
Come all of you.
Oh,
Let
okay.
them see
Cool.
there's a
Kujeni huku nyuma.
Let's do
Achien.
this first. Kujeni.
Kujeni huku nyuma. Hawe. Kuja huku nyuma. The camera must see the staff. They are all the staff.
Very good.
Yeah. Come all of you. Where's the bunga? The bunga has taken a leave.
Okay, so what am I supposed to do now?
So you just give them and you introduce who they are.
Oh, okay,
The
great.
people have never seen them.
Where is the is the camera properly see?
Yes.
Yes.
Capturing all of them, I can see.
Okay, so okay.
Meet Muratari.
They're gonna have with their hands or what's going on?
Jonte. Kuja huku.
Yes. What's that too big? You need one to.
No kiyengi.
Very nice. Okay, so this is Howie. Howie, thank you very much. Great
Tell us who is Howie.
Birthday.
Who is Howie? Introduce Howie.
Producer here at J.
Yeah.
Achien.
Achieng is Jagero's PA.
Thank you very much.
Because you're away from your mic. Yeah.
Oh, great.
That is
And this is our chef, our in-house chef. Thank you very much.
What's her name? What's the name of the chef?
The chef is called Atieno.
Yeah.
And this is Peter Clinton. Peter Clinton is the guy who does magic in social media.
Yeah, he's the man on the decks.
Man on the decks.
Yeah.
And then this one is Mr. Maxwell. Maxwell does editing.
Yeah, very nice.
All right.
Then we have Franco, Luambo
Then we
Makiadi.
have Frank. Then we have Frank. Frank is the guy that changes cameras and does everything.
Yeah.
Mr. Alosi is our driver.
The man who makes everything.
Jack
Yeah, the
of all
logistician.
things. Yeah, and this is the guy who edits and also does cameras.
Yeah.
Mr. John Tess.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Then we have the gentleman from Maseno.
The gentleman from Maseno, yes.
Yeah.
When you have to talk about Maseno.
Yeah,
all the
Maseno
time.
University. The only university in the equator with IT.
Yeah, I'm going there.
The equator with the IT.
Right, thank you
You know,
very
that's a
much.
selling point. Equator with IT. Thank you guys. This is amazing. I look forward to my birthday.
Internet.
Okay.
Thank you. Adios.
Thank you very much, people of the internet. Thank you very much for allowing us this short time.
They are asking,
to
where
celebrate
is
my
Bash?
44th. I am so happy. And we will continue eating after this conversation. Mr. I'm going back to Mundalo directly. Mundalo, I was talking to you about Mr. Sifuna, and we were saying that, well, you have now disagreed that it's a bit, you know, it's taken too far, stretched a little too far.
Yeah.
But what is going on? Because we have, so let me just learn.
Yeah.
We have Mudavadi.
Yes.
We have Mr. Wetangula.
Yes.
We have Cleophas Malala.
Yeah.
We have Natembea.
Yeah.
We have Eugene Wamalwa. Where does Sifuna fit?
That's quite a difficult one. Sifuna fits where originally the people placed him.
Okay.
Unfortunately, from where I sit, is that I think he delinked from where the people placed him.
Okay.
Because when I look at the initial excitement around Sifuna, was that the people were feeling like this is a breath of fresh air, that we are delinking from status quo. We are delinking that everything that was, and therefore this is a new beginning. That's why Sifuna was able to attract the trending that he did, yet there was Rigathi Gachagua, yet there was Eugene Wamalwa. All these opposition leaders were there, but they were not getting the attention that was given to Sifuna.
Okay.
That simply shows you that the public was not seeing them as an alternative. And so they were getting Sifuna as some new alternative that they think they can place their hopes and aspirations on.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Sifuna went back to wanting to be with the people that the people were trying to move away from.
Okay.
And so he started moving back to becoming what I call a normal politician. Now, when he goes now to Western Kenya, where I come from, and it's a good thing that the leaders there have been able to endorse him, but he must also be able to ask himself the fundamental question, why the endorsement? Is he being endorsed because he is loved and they believe he can make a better leader, or is he being endorsed because they want to ride on the clout that he has so that they can get their own seats?
Okay.
Because he has to answer that question very, very primarily and answer it right. Because what is happening in Western is that because of the clout that the country gave Sifuna, every leader wants to hang on that coat for their own selfish interest, not for Sifuna's interest.
Okay.
So if he is not keen enough, then he might not be able to actually see that. Most of the time, you don't become a political kingpin on the basis of some momentous excitement. It has proven very difficult. That is why up to today, Rigathi Gachagua is still struggling to ensure that everywhere he speaks, he must sound like Uhuru is with him.
Okay.
Because no matter the clout that has gathered around him on the basis of an impeachment, it looks as though the king is still Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, that is the shoe that Sifuna finds himself in as well.
Okay.
That these people are gathering around you, but what is the basis? Do they really have a solid grounding? And if there is no solid ground, then it's not true that you'll actually be considered the king. It will be momentous unless you work on it. That's why when you move back in time, at some point they almost crowned Natembea.
Okay.
Because of the Tawi movement, because it was a moment, it was a hit of the moment at that level. So what I think is that most of this is a hit of the moment, and there is a chance that maybe someone can want to do something and convert it into something tangible.
Okay.
But I doubt the capacity to convert it, because I think the moment has kept moving away. It is becoming too late. There was a time that Kenyans had rolled out the carpet. The red carpet was ready, and they said, walk on it. And they kept expecting him to say something that he continued not saying. When they was thrown out of ODM, and the people said, now we have gone out of ODM with you. After they jumped out of ODM, they discovered that the person they have jumped out because of is busy jumping back in and hiring lawyers to defend him to remain within the fold of ODM. So at some point, there has been a staccato. And this staccato is leading to some of the people who are now starting to give up, like Odhiambo, who is now saying, wait a minute, it's taking too long. We are getting tired. And when now you look at the cases of Didmas Baraza, I call Didmas Baraza the William Ruto of Bungoma politics.
Okay. Is that so?
Yeah. Didmas Baraza is a very strong politician. Didmas Baraza is a gentleman who has understood the politique. And he knows what to do at what time and what credit to be able to get. Most of the time, opposition leaders have jumped right into his fray, because Didmas will attend a function where he is unwanted. He will attend a function that is deemed to be an opposition stronghold function. Most of the time, people would want to avoid such occasions. But how will opposition play into Didmas' hands? They will, from speaker to speaker, talk about Didmas and not even remember the name of the person who died, or the name of the people who are bereaved. So they give Didmas a lot of airtime in those funerals. He becomes the last man standing in those funerals. He becomes the point of conversation. And by the time the function is over, there are always two stories everywhere Didmas went. In my view, it has actually always worked against Sifuna, because every time people expect to hear a lot from Sifuna, when the story comes out, it becomes Sifuna and Didmas.
Okay.
And when that happens, the winner of that becomes more Didmas, because he's the one who is working on the local politique. He's the one who wants to become governor. He's the one pulling out those crowds. So these people getting into the competition with Didmas is poor politics from their end, and Didmas continuing to do what he does, regardless of what I think about it as right or wrong, is actually very good politics on his end. And everyone now is believing that you can't wrestle Didmas Baraza. That is, it's becoming the common perception is that now you cannot wrestle Didmas Baraza. It was very unfortunate for them to say that because Didmas will live with the people, he has to speak last. Saying that was an acknowledgement from them that they believe that they have no influence on the people enough to sustain these people after Didmas Baraza has spoken. That was an admission on the side of the opposition. So, in my view, they have kept playing into Didmas Baraza's hands and kept making Didmas quite a larger-than-life politician. As it stands now, Didmas is being canvassed, and he's a conversation across the country. And remember, the people love bold leaders. The people love decisive leaders. The people love leaders who move the masses. And that is what opposition is making Didmas become.
But so then, Odhiambo, do you think that Sifuna should have been a little bit tactical in the way he approached the whole thing? Because he was actually looking at him in the face and telling them, wewe utatoka hapa wa mwisho. Why was he telling him that?
It's juvenile politics of Sifuna. Very juvenile. I just call it straight for what it is. If you want to be a very good politician, and if you're a true student of Raila Odinga, one thing you understand is something called plausible deniability in his fashion of politics. Okay. That he would not outrightly deny Mundalo as much as they disagree. Yeah. He would not outrightly point out to person XYZ as much as they disagree. And if, in the instance they meet at a common ground, they'll be most cordial. There's something that does. It elevates your stature. Because you need everybody in terms of public perception, so that they look at you as an agreeable person, an approachable person. When Sifuna stands and tells whoever he was telling, and I saw how he was talking to Barasa, it's very bad. That was very childish of him, sorry to say. Because when you stand, you are aware that Barasa is doing retail politics.
What is retail politics?
So let's look at the manufacturing line. Okay. And I want you to look at politics as a manufacturing line. That in politics we have the producers, yeah? Well, I'm going to talk raw material. Those who produce the raw materials are also the end consumers in this case. Because they're the ones who determine what is the issue, what is the political question. Then there are those who then find the political capital to use it in manufacture. So we have manufacturers in politics like Odhiambo. As we manufacture, we're normally not in the limelight for a long time. It's up to the reason that I've started coming out. But we manufacture in the background. Okay? Then we give the distributors. Okay? Now the distributors are the ones who now own the chain. So the giant distributors are like the president. They are like the governors. They're like those are giant distributors, the ones who sit at the core positions. Then now we have wholesalers, but the distributors give wholesalers. Okay, the wholesalers are if you go in the village, they're the ones with the gates. Yeah, the people who have the gates. And then there are also political figures, opinion leaders. Those are wholesalers. Then we have retailers. Retailers know what to ground. Au ni watu wa duka kidogo kiosk, kila mtu akona kiosk. Mtu anakuambia mimi kuna watu 10. May have 5. I will give my family. Those are retailers. So Didmas understands that you must bypass these wholesalers and go to the retailer. It is an expensive venture.
Are they mobilizers? The same as mobilizers?
Yeah, they are very heavy mobilizers because you're becoming a topic of discussion at the dinner table of every family. Now that is very interesting. But Sifuna is still doing politics of wholesaling. That he wants to talk, he is a manufacturer, he's a distributor, but also he wants to be a wholesaler. Do you get it? So he wants to own the whole supply chain. You must have people who are doing your bidding, even if they're against you. You must have heard of situations where people say that hapa chini tufanye venye tunataka, lakini pale juu ni nani? Now that is very serious politics that Sifuna has to learn moving forward. But you see, for him, he's playing politics of wholesale. That niko na sijui yule jamaa nani? Yule jamaa limuendoso wa kwanza kuwa president. Then kuna huyu Wamboka. Then kuna huyu mwingine sasa governor huyu mwingine. What he must realize is he must ask himself one question. Am I being fattened for slaughter? Because remember, in any competition, the strongest is always eliminated first. Not the weakest. The strongest is eliminated first. Because the weak ones remain to fight. But first of all, they unite to remove the strongest. So is Sifuna a strong candidate? Yes. Is he recognizing it? No. Are they willing to fatten him? Yes. Why? Because Would you rather have Ruto for 5 years and he goes and spoil the political capital of somebody by taking him to the limelight? Yes, of course. Someone like Tawe, he has deep-seated ambitions. Governor Natembeya has deep-seated ambitions, very deep, too deep that he has declared. In fact, he has dared the state, he has dared the regime, and they've tried to balance him. Kidogo umeona. Do you think he would want to go against Sifuna? Sifuna is an obstacle to where he's going. He has a Mulembe dream. He has a Mulembe dream. That Mulembe dream is in Sifuna every nation, is in every house in Mulembe today. Those guys are talking about, oh, Natembeya anatujali. Because when Natembeya stands to speak, what does he say? Sisi sio maids, sisi sio watchmen, sisi pia ni Mulembe, lazima tukue watu. That is very powerful for them, it resonates. But what does Sifuna tell the Mulembe nation? Crickets. Crickets. Tweet, 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 tweet. That's all we hear. When he goes down there, the only thing he continues doing is sloganeering against Didmas. Sloganeering against. But Didmas says, okay, amutaki nionge? Sawa. Then he does the most important skill in politics. He pulls the underdog card. Says, mimi hao watu wamenishinda. Wamekuja kwetu, wananipiga kwetu. Basi acha mimi niende nyumbani. And then as he leaves, those who think that he is like them live with him, because those guys are retailers. They're saying, this is our wholesaler. You guys, we don't see you, you're dealing with wholesalers huko juu. But huyu anatuona si ni retailers, anatupatia kidogo kidogo. And that's the fact of politics. Anawapatia kidogo kidogo. Anaka now.
But then the question that I want to ask you before I come to Wesley, for example, to chime in on this, is that, okay, is Sifuna, maybe Sifuna doesn't want to, have that constituency to himself, or does he?
He does not want. He does not know.
He does not know that he wants.
Sifuna is like, I want to put for you this thing properly, because I'm one of the earliest supporters of his, who got tired very fast, because I have a quick brain that can see things. I have quick sense of judgment. Sifuna looks at this thing in shock, but the shock is taking too long. You are seducing a girl who is out of your league. You didn't believe she can accept. Then she has accepted. Now you are still afraid. Your heart is beep. It's 4 months later. Even the girl is wondering, what's wrong with you?
There is somebody in the comments here who is saying it's clear Odhiambo does not like Sifuna.
Truly, I like him a lot.
No, we used to disagree actually here with Odhiambo.
I agree.
I like him a lot.
The way I see it personally, I think Sifuna got dressed for a ball and found himself in a farm event.
Okay.
The reason why I think this is because
say that again. I thought Odhiambo was bad.
That is now dangerous.
And this is
please repeat.
I think Sifuna was dressed for a ball and found himself at a farm event.
Okay.
And farm event rules are completely different.
Yes.
I agree with Mundalo, to the extent that he says that the thing that brought Sifuna into the spotlight was not Luhya politics.
Yeah.
There was a national appeal that was there. But the way I see it from a person outside looking in is Sifuna found himself with the realities of local politics. Because, one, in Kenya, a big definition of politics is where do you come from? So, the fear that Sifuna had in the beginning was, am I able to sustain this movement that is clout-based and I don't know where it's going to go without the necessities of what has been the status quo, as Mundalo has put it. Now, yes, was he late to leave ODM? Absolutely. I have criticized Sifuna on the same. I have said, you need to drop this ODM tag. I know it sounds good when you go to a Linda Mwananchi rally to say, mimi bado ndio nikiwa bado naibu kiranja wa walio wachache, nikiwa bado SG wa ODM. It was good the first couple of times.
So badly.
Right? It was good. However, I started asking the people from Linda Mwananchi. It seems like Sifuna is still stuck on ODM, and the question rests is, you as a Linda Mwananchi supporter who came for the national appeal, if his issues with ODM are fixed, are you going back to ODM with him? And they couldn't answer that question. So unfortunately, what Odhiambo, and this one I can agree with this too, because he entered into a farm event that met the village farmer. Who is Didmas Barasa. Because Didmas Barasa, the only point I disagree with Mundalo is that they made Didmas larger than life. Didmas has always been like that. I started observing when he declared the bid for governor.
Yeah.
Hii tabia kutoka na watu kwa rally hajaanza juzi. He has always been doing it. He comes to your mazishi, he finishes talking, anasema mimi naelekea mahali fulani, watu wanatoka na yeye. Wewe na watu mnaachwa wewe na familia yako kwa mazishi. So instead of recognizing that is how Didmas does his politics, that's a fight you do not need. It has come to a point where the reality has gotten and caught up to Sifuna. And the reality is, people around you are going to start to ask you to coalesce around your identity.
Yeah.
Which Mundalo has described as, and Odhiambo as well, are you being fattened? That is what I see as politics of convenience.
Yeah.
And it works. For me, if I was Sifuna, it's okay. You guys want to use me, I will also use you.
Yeah.
If you want to ride on my name, I will also ride on your name. I'll start demanding that you guys push the people to ask for a party, so that now that party becomes the acceptable thing. However, Sifuna has not recognized that. And the first mistake he did was to engage Didmas. He should have come and said, tunajua Didmas ambavyo yako, but Didmas ni kiongozi, kila mtu afanya siasa yake, lakini sisi jamii ya Waluya tunaelekea pande gani? So that he avoided that direct altercation.
So that is the bigger
because it's not once or twice Didmas has found himself in a situation that he did not work out. There are events I have seen as I'm just doing my monitoring. He is seated somewhere and people start making that joke he's going to walk out with. People say, basi leo sitatoka. So he could have played that card, but I think one of the reasons that Sifuna drove himself into that conflict was because he was also reacting to something that Didmas said. And he should understand, because of the national appeal he holds, his votes are not only going to come from Bungoma. So he should have been able to ignore that and just play like the bigger brother and say, you alisema ni sawa, lakini Didmas ana watu wake, sisi tuna watu wetu. So I think he's going to heavily learn that that will not be the only occurrence of that. There are going to be people who are aligned to government who will repeat that kind of politics for him.
I want to ask Mundalo, even as you answer this question.
I want just to add something before you ask Mundalo. Sifuna must do two things, because this refusal to recognize this gift will mean that gift will be taken away from him, because opportunities got wings and they'll fly away. Sifuna must understand that in Baba's military camp, he was a militant. That brand is now gone. The people are now yearning for leadership. The people want a leader, not a militant.
Not an actor.
Not an actor, not an activist. People need to see somebody who, when he stands amongst his kinsmen, he treats them with valor, he treats them with respect, he treats them with dignity. For example, because somebody may ask, what could he have done? From a communication and public speaking perspective, I would have said this. Sifuna, upon you standing, recognize every leader and say, I am here with all my brothers. Hata Didmas ako hapa, na mimi nampenda sana, na sasa ambayo nafanya. Hii kitu yenye Bungoma naona inakimbia namna hii, mnajipanga. Mnajipanga, si ndio? Na ile yangu ya huko juzi mnajua. You don't give it, you don't have combat. Once you have combat, then people take sides. Now, unfortunately, revolutionaries don't know how to take care of the backgrounds. That is world over. Revolutionaries don't know how to handle their strongholds. So they normally rule their strongholds by iron fists. And unfortunately, Sifuna still lacks in that. Because for people to be loyal to Sifuna first needs to have something that wholesalers will come for. And that is party ticket. He doesn't have a party. He doesn't have a ticket. He doesn't have the power to reward. Neither does he have the power to punish. So he cannot inspire any form of loyalty. It is just love. Now when the love is still there, you become Raila. Okay? From Raila School of Politics, where we used to have Raila mania. Then we had Raila phobia. And we had it in the party, in equal measure, Raila mania and Raila phobia. People love him, but people also hate him. But there's nothing you can do. It's called impunity. So you just have to toe the line. But Sifuna hasn't learned that in politics. Because at that level, you must instill administrative discipline in your structure. Otherwise, there's going to be insurrection within the structure, and you will automatically collapse.
The question I wanted to ask Mundalo are actually two. Mr. Mundalo, it looks like every time people are talking about Sifuna, and I also see it in other podcasts, and everybody is saying the same thing, and only people coming from Linda Mwananchi seem to disagree. Only them disagree. But everybody else, because even DCP here is wooing the same man.
Yes.
But he's saying the same thing because they used to say that Jagero does not like Sifuna.
Yeah.
Joaquim was also pushed a little bit, but he refused completely. Jagero does not like Sifuna. Odhiambo does not like Sifuna. Okay, now DCP is also saying Bwana. You know Bwana. You know,
Wapi.
You know.
Watembea namna gani?
No, watembea namna gani?
Yeah.
Why is it that they are not learning all these things that everybody is telling them? Question number one. Question number two, as Kenyans, do we have to come from somewhere in order to, pope in Kenyan in the national politics? Like, does Sifuna have to come from Luhyaland? Does Didman Baraza have to agree with him and bring Mudavadi and Wetangula and everybody else? Then he can come to us in Nairobi and say, now you are a leader. The same to do you think we are not ripe for that politics where he can just be here nationally and be a big politician? But Natembeya and Didmas Baraza and Wetangula do not appreciate him back at home.
Jagero, most of the time our politics and our people and our viewers, most of the time we cannot delink our emotions from the politics. And that's why when someone has contrary opinion from yours, your first instinct is to think they don't like that person. Because from where we sit, we try to look at things objectively and see what is right to actually be done, not what is emotionally convenient to be able to be done. So that is the reason why you would not be able to see changes even despite everyone else seeing these things is because, Jagero, I can assure you, politicians are usually surrounded by a lot of lies.
Frauds, fakes, and fools.
The hardest thing to push through the corner of a politician is a fact. Why? Because most of the time, Jagero, when a politician is seated, most of the people around them are sycophants. And sycophants feed you with what you want to hear. So every other day, they call you big names.
Yeah.
And that's why one of our biggest leaders, Raila Odinga, lost election all those times. Why? Because every time the people who are seated next to him did not insist on the plan, they just kept saying, we are winning. This thing is gone. This thing is ours. You remember when Juliet said, Katamiti? Exactly. This is the reality of what usually happens in politics. Most of the time when you are the leader, and you should be very careful when you are someone in politics and you're a leader, the higher you go, the more the lies you are about to be fed. So if you're not careful yourself to come down and get in direct contact with reality, you might be living a bubble. That's why even sometimes they say kings of Syria's thrones, constantly, I think it's literally the story of one of the kings of Africa at some point. When he used to walk, they had an aide who used to walk with him and keep reminding him that you are just but a human being. You are just but a man. You are just but a man. Because sometimes you can eat into this thing and you can get into a bubble. Now, that is the reason why there has been very little progress on the Linda Mwananchi side. And most of the time we have even sat here with those friends from Linda Mwananchi. And they want to speak the same language because when they speak here in front of the camera, the truth is not what is important. What will please their master is what is important. And what will please their master does not necessarily have to be the truth. And that is the unfortunate reality. So, when you talked about, I'm forgetting your next, you had two questions. There was that.
Do you have to come from Luhyaland
yes,
as a strong person?
Thank you. 2022 election showed us that you don't really have to come from wherever. What you need to do as a person in leadership and as a politician, you need to understand who has called you. The moment you understand who has called you, that is what will sustain you. The moment you lose sight of who has actually called you, your momentum will drop. Honorable Matiang'i was called from America by the Gen Zs who said, we want you. But when he arrived, he became a kissy. The moment he became a kissy, you lost him. And the momentum went low and it disappeared. Morara was called by the young people and the general public and told, yes, this looks good. But at some point, he went DCP, started meeting Rigathi Gachagua. And just on that mere account of meeting Rigathi, his credibility withered down. But you should note one thing. It did not wither out the credibility of Rigathi. It only withered out the credibility of Morara. So everyone who has failed to remember who actually called him, has suffered that blood. The reason why today, up to today, Rigathi Gachagua is a conversation today, and we can talk about whether he will win Olkalau or not, and we believe that he's a serious contender, and everyone in opposition wants him to say Wewe Tosha, is because Rigathi understood that during his impeachment, the impeachment is the one that took him to the height of the Kenyan politics. Yeah. But why did it take him there? It took him there on the basis and on account of sympathy over community. And because he is stuck there and continue with that community narrative, that's why he's still wherever he is today. So Sifuna was called by somebody. He was called by the nation. But now someone wants to reduce him to a lawyer. Now the moment that happens, once again, just like what befell Matiang'i, we will lose him. He might then become a big lawyer kingpin, but now the national credence will wither out. Like today, you are talking about Matiang'i. Probably when you run as an MCA and somewhere in Nyamira, his name might be helpful, but is it helpful in Nyeri? It's now not, because now he reduced himself into that. 2022 showed us that you don't need to stick to the script as is. Because President William Ruto, I doubt, basically became president on the account of where he comes from. There was something about his agenda that resonated across the country. And when we went everywhere, they talked about this bottom-up, this hustler's story. And at that time, Wesley was a big proponent, and he was moving, he was swinging on vans. And he had a lot of campaign money that time. He used to fund our teas. Who? Wesley here.
You didn't know?
You didn't know that?
Even me, I know.
No, Wesley has not brought a packet of milk here.
No, don't ask Wesley for. I think that's the reason why you asked for a packet. You asked him for boxes.
Yeah. Boxes of milk.
Yeah, this is a man with a lot of campaign money. Now he's.
Are you going to bring us boxes of milk?
That's now.
We'll talk about it.
Now he has a lot of. One of the reasons why they will lose in Olkalau is because he's keeping campaign money in his house.
I wanted to
add something.
So can I finish?
I wanted to add something upon what Mundalo is saying.
Okay.
I think it's just shy of speaking what needs to be talked about solidly. That in 2022, we in Azimio saw something spectacular about that election, especially stemming out from the BBI. We realized that the psyche of the nation had shifted. Tribal lines are no longer going to hold. Yeah. And the best thing that any candidate was to do was to rally people behind an issue. Yeah. Raila tried very much on the issue of 6,000. In fact, 6,000 was the biggest issue amongst the commoners. They're like, 6,000 every month. 6,000. For those about you, 6,000. That was very huge because it fulfilled something called the universal basic income, which is a philosophy that must be pursued someday. What Ruto did in 2022, which personally I admired, as much as I was in the other camp, was Ruto changed the conversation from a tribal angle and moved for the first time into a real issue and said, you know what? We have a problem of leadership in this country. And he was right. Because the leadership then wasn't sustaining the people. And he said, let's talk about an issue. And a son of a nobody, literally, because up to date, do you know Ruto's father's name? Wesley unajua? Wewe unajua? Baba ya Ruto. Hata mama yake niko sure hujui jina yake. But is the president. Because he rallied people around an issue. As much as things may have changed in the succeeding years, the fact remains that he gave us a golden opportunity to rally people around an issue, and you can win. Sifuna does not need to be a lawyer first. This I've always said. What Sifuna needed, and I told Babu Owino in person, is that, guys, have a shadow cabinet. Guys, give policy statements. Guys, give policy position. Give position papers. Go to the intellectual space of politics. Go into the legal wind of it. Babu is doing it. Move so that you mimic whatever you want. If you want something, you must mimic it. If you want to be an MP, you must mimic how an MP looks like. If you want to be a president, you must mimic the presidency, even the structure. Because the only way to become, the easiest way to become, is what people say, fake it till you make it. So how do you fake it till you make it? Assume you are the incoming president. Call yourself the incoming president. Dress like the incoming president. Have a structure like the incoming president. Appoint your ministers like Raila did, the incoming president. But Sifuna, seemingly in his fear, and that's what I think, Mundalo, you teach this at 2 cents, that leadership is not about being specially oiled by God for you to come and lead the people. No. Leadership is about facing and making difficult decisions. As much as you are scared, make them. That is what makes you a leader. So that, because I always say, mistakes made in audacity can only be corrected in further audacity. If you're a leader and you make mistakes, you can only correct when you're there. But if Sifuna is refusing or is shy of making a mistake by saying, you know what, okay, the people may not be with me, they may be lying to me, but let me trick them. Let me try and tell them I'm going to be the president. Then you just find, the people are also aligning that actually they can make you a president, because what you dream is what you do, is what you become. But he's refusing to dream, he's refusing to see himself as such, he's waiting for the people to make him. The people, these same people, who you can be fighting for so much, may the next minute show you the middle finger.
So euphoria, Jagero, euphoria is good, especially when it's political. But it only stands on the basis of reasons for it. And now the reasons are what my brother Sifuna is not giving the people. For instance, when people were saying they want Sifuna, he fails to understand why were they saying so. It's because they were believing that it's a breath of fresh air. This is an alternative. They wanted to feel like when President Ruto says he has an infrastructure fund, there is something else that Sifuna should say. When President Ruto says that he has SHA, the Social Health Authority, there is something that competes that then this gentleman should say, away from the one-term slogans that Rigathi and his brigade were doing every other day. So when they fail to find it, that becomes a problem. The only way you sustain something is when it has an anchorage, Jagero. For instance, let me give you an example of the Sifuna PES party leader, Jimmy Wanjigi. Today, Jagero, if you hold an election in Kenya between Jimmy Wanjigi and Sifuna, Sifuna will win that election. But if you sustain them as Jimmy Wanjigi and Sifuna and hold that election 2 years from today, it might be again possible that Wanjigi's numbers that you have today might increase then, but Sifuna's might drastically reduce, because the people who had voted Wanjigi today were sure of what they wanted. So he has them. There is a reason why they want him. So 2 years from today, those people will still have a reason why they want him, because it's anchored on something. But the people who will have voted for Sifuna today would have voted for him on the basis of political excitement and euphoria and the heat of the moment. When this heat of the moment moves away, then they reduce, and it can show you strategically, it shows even on this panel, that at the heat of the moment, there were more supporters of the gentleman than today. So he is really failing to answer the question, why did the people say Mimi ndio Sifuna? What was the reason? They didn't say that because he was a better Luhya leader. They didn't say that because he had emanated from Bungoma. They didn't say that because of ODM. If anything, they said that because he was leaving ODM, because ODM had chased him. But the more time goes, the more he continues to do the things that are just like any other politician. The more he continues remaining and struggling to remain in ODM, the more he continues to become a Luhya leader, the more he continues to get endorsements that are just like the normal politique as was. And now that works against him and works for selfish politicians who are busy, there's a word that you used, fattening him, because they are looking for their own ambition. If they really believed in Sifuna Jagero, they would have, he has been here. Why hadn't they looked for him? Why until there was Mimi ndio Sifuna or something like that? It's because there is a clout that they want to take advantage of. He has become the normal guy, like people in DCP today who are busy saying Rigathi is the best leader. Some of them don't believe in him. I doubt that if you check Wesley very well, down and you check him very, very well.
Do not speak for me.
He really does not believe
he can't follow Rigathi. He can't.
But it's politically convenient now, so let us call him a good leader. That is the advantage.
And you see, somebody has just sent me something which I don't agree with. She's told me here, this is your friend, your client, yeah? She's told me, Obama was catapulted to the presidency. Obama and Sifuna are the same. And let me say it without fear, that Obama was a one-term senator who was a brokey, literal brokey, who did not even know properly his home. He only heard of it and had to come all the way to travel and see his home here. Obama dared, by just selling his story, which resonated with very many people on the American dream.
Yes.
Sifuna
Yes, we can.
is a one-term senator. Sifuna has a story which he can share, which can resonate with many Kenyans, which is not the normal politician story. It's not the normal nyinyi ni watu wetu, bandu wa mulembe or something. Yeah, it is something about the Kenyan dream, that the country we want looks like this. It can work for you, it can work for me. Sifuna is about 44, if I'm not wrong. I think it's about your age mate. Obama was about the same age. So even on that grand scale of comparison, Sifuna has the best scale to contrast or to compare himself against. Sifuna, people are, I will repeat, they're serving you a red carpet. Rolled 100 meters. They're telling you, walk on it. Because Sifuna, before you started to speak, or when you started to speak, the united opposition of Rigathi, Kalonzo, etc., were quiet. They were not doing anything meaningful. Sifuna, the day you woke up, and the guy started looking at you as an alternative, and they started saying, Mimi ndio Sifuna. The united opposition went to Nyamakima. I don't know where that is. It's somewhere in town. And Kalonzo started making some funny speeches there. Ruto, I think, was out of the country. Sifuna, the day you started coming up, you awoke the opposition. And Mundalo, one day you said something on this podcast, which allow me to repeat. Yeah. Mundalo said, young people, we have one problem. We don't have a plan. The old people always beat us because they have a plan, even if it is a bad plan. Today, if you ask the Sifuna team, what is the plan? They don't know. They're waiting as well. If you ask Sifuna himself, what is the plan? He's fearful of the people because the people could let him down. But they're letting you down on what basis? What have you instructed? What have you led them into? What have you told them we are going to? Is there a canon you're telling them? You're telling them preamble. Mama yangu uko ushago haelewi preamble. Anataka kumwambie school fee free. Anataka kumwambie maji free. Anataka kumwambie sha hautalipa. Anataka kumwambie economy itapanda. Utakuwa unaishi vizuri. Anataka kumwambie wifi kila mahali. Exactly.
You see,
hope.
Yes.
Sifuna, I am telling you, yes, if you can listen to me, because I have nothing to gain from you whatsoever, but only goodwill to you. Sifuna, wake up and accept the reality that the people have rolled for you a red carpet.
All right.
Please walk on it boldly.
Okay, in finishing, as we finish this podcast today, I don't believe we are going to be taking calls because it's late in the day. You look like a very good consultant. Why don't you offer your services?
I do. I do offer consultant services.
Yeah, but I'm asking why. Have you written a proposal to Sifuna?
No. Let me tell you one thing.
Why not?
Allow me to speak on the issue of Sifuna. There's a question you asked, why don't Linda Mwananchi learn? The reason why Linda Mwananchi will not learn is because they are stuck between obstinacy and idealism. And unfortunately, when you're stuck in obstinacy is when you believe that the circumstances have not changed or will not change. Like I said, an opportunity for Sifuna to take advantage of what is going on or what had gone on around him, but that window is rapidly closing. And it is being accelerated, that closure is being accelerated by the fact that he is now entering into the status quo politics. And now to revert back to what initially sparked the interest in the people is going to be harder. So my bet is going to be this. The politics of convenience is going to take a hold of Sifuna's center stage. Because the fastest way to get removed from a politician's circle is to be factual and truthful. Especially if they're not engaging you on a consultancy basis. The first people who get jittery are the people who support him psychophantically. Because they are like, huyu jamaa amekuja hapa ametumwa na nani. But unfortunately, because of that, now those same people are now going to tell him, and there are going to be casualties around that. Because even in Linda Mwananchi, there are very pertinent questions to ask. In that whole setup, yes, you will see some people will start saying Sifuna ni mzuri, but they don't want to absolutely elevate him because they don't see themselves as beneath Sifuna, or they don't believe Sifuna can be above them. Let me put it that way.
By fact.
And that, yes, it could also be as a result of fact that they are more experienced and whatnot, but that is going to be an implosion waiting to happen there. So my opinion on how Sifuna is going to land on this whole story is that the people who are going to benefit most are the Jack Wambokas, the Majimbo Kalas singers. Those are the guys who will drive the conversation now. Because now they have taken him into rural Luhya land. Now they will start going, you will start hearing the issue of sub-tribes. Me, I don't know which sub-tribe Sifuna comes from. I will now probably find out one day because of the courtesy of that politics. So unfortunately, Sifuna's window is very short. If he does not take advantage of it now, he's going to come onto the table of negotiation, not as the Mimi ni Sifuna.
He'll be held hostage.
He's going to come as Sifuna, the person from Luhya land.
He'll be held hostage.
And there, and on that table, he will then be devoured.
Yes. In finishing, Mr. Thank you guys so much for coming today. It's been a wonderful Sabasaba. Thank you for honoring my birthday to come here and discuss politics. I'm not very happy with the way you dispense your wisdom on Sabasaba Day, allowing the police to run amok. But I really appreciate.
Thank you.
I think that it has been a very, very good, very good conversation. I am so happy that Wesley, you could stand up to the two bullies.
The bullies just
Very, very well. You stood your ground. I like that. The Amo will appreciate.
I do. I rarely.
A push
but I do. No, he's a sharp person. And you see, as he has said, if you go for a deep surgery, you will find that Ayuko Hapo. In fact, I can tell you, by the time the elections will be nearing next year, we will have a very good conversation with him, especially March 15th. Rigathi has given us a date, March or May 15th. Around that time, we will be here with him. And you'll hear it shall have changed fundamentally.
Completely.
It is
so what are your last words to the Ambo? And then we will also get the last words.
Of course, happy birthday, my brother. It's amazing. What you're doing is amazing. Of course, I told you in the morning, I'll repeat to you. Happy birthday, celebrate, enjoy. And to many more memories.
Thank you very much.
Very
Mr.
good.
Malo, in finishing?
Asante sana. In finishing, I think it was an amazing conversation. I like the part of the surgery on Wesley. I want to just answer Odhiambo and tell him that you don't need to wait for the surgery, because most of the time, political party leader supporters look like them. And when they don't look like them, know that they are not with them. So the question is, when you look at Wesley and how he reasons, does he look like his leader? Thank you very much.
So I think
What is the problem? Are we starting the podcast or we are ending?
let me tell you.
It's going personal.
One good strength of mine is that I take some time to consider a decision.
Yeah.
And when I do take a decision, I like to stick to it to its logical conclusion. So Mundalo and Otieno should not really worry about any surgery. I will be fine. Mundalo knows me. I took a stand and I can stick to that stand. However, I just want to say thank you. Happy birthday again.
Thank you very much.
I'm very happy to have been here to see that wonderful spectacle that was organized for you and caught you off guard.
All right. Thank you
See
very
you
much.
soon again.
I want to thank the people of the internet that always gather here around the fireplace to enjoy the conversation, to give us their 2 cents, Thank you very much. Please consider subscribing, hit on that notification bell so that when we start at 7:30, you are duly notified. I want to thank the entire team that has been with me from the beginning. Mr. Frank, who has been on the deck, John Tess on the cameras, and everybody else that have brought me a cake. Until another episode, people of the internet, thank you and goodbye for now.
Thank you very much.